hours worth of sales. I did ship on Saturday around noontime. So 48 hours worth of sales, eBay, Poshmark, Chris@peak.com. We got work to do. Let's get started. Welcome in, everybody. If you haven't said hello down below in the chat, love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how your weekend was. How are sales? What's going on with your biz? If you're new to this stream, if it's just your first time joining, welcome in. Good to have you. We do the stream every Monday, right around noon-ish Eastern time, and we go over all the weekend sales. I tell you exactly what sold, how much it sold for, how much I paid for it, what my profits are, how long these items took to sell, and all that. Great place to ask questions. Great place to just hang out while you're getting your listing done, or maybe you're outsourcing and like to have me in the background. But glad that you're here. Welcome in, everybody. Closer to homemade. Good morning with the extra O's. I like it. Morning or afternoon to you, wherever you are. Good to have you. It's going to be a working live, so we're going to be shipping. We're going to be talking. And if you don't know me yet, you know I love talking shop. I love talking reselling. So I'm glad to have you here and excited to share some time with you this afternoon. Hope you had a good weekend. All right, so you're the boss for just a moment. Let me know, are we going to ship eBay, Poshmark, or Chris@peak.com first? You're the boss for just a moment. The first person that comments eBay, Poshmark, or Chris@peak.com down below, that's what we'll start with. Place an order this weekend for coffee. We're loving it. Appreciate that so much. We'll get your coffee order shipped out for you right here on the live. We had a good coffee weekend. What's up? Slow weekend for me. Slower for me too. My week kind of like tapered a little bit as the week went on. I did have a really good Sunday though, so no complaints here. But it is June, and we're like late June, almost July in a couple of days here. So we're into the teeth of summer slowdown. But June has been great for me. I'm still trending to beat May by 10%, which is really, really great because May was awesome for me. So I did pass May sales already last night. So now I'm just working on extending the lead over May. May was my best month of the year. It often is, but now June has beat it. So hope your weekend was good, Adam. Business has been good. A little bit softer as the week went on, but I'm still happy with it. Still strong. What's up, Josh? How are you? Dory and Chemo are in the house. Welcome in. So what are we shipping first? Nobody has said so yet. You're the boss for just a moment. I put you in charge, and nobody has told me what to do yet. So just let me know. Are we going to ship eBay, Poshmark, or Chris@peak.com first? Otherwise, I'm just going to stand here and flap my gums and drink sparkling water, which is fine with me. I can do that too. Great weekend for coffee too. Excited to get some of those orders shipped out. I'm going to drop, by the way, down below in the chat. You can find anything. You can find all our socials and all that right there at Chris@peak.com. You'll find our recommended list of reseller supplies there. You'll find our coffee website if you want to check out some coffee, get a coffee order in. If you order coffee during the live, I'll ship it out to you during the live. I'll stop what I'm doing and we'll ship it right out to you. So all that stuff is linked right there at Chris@peak.com. If you want to check out our other stuff, our other socials, our YouTube, and all that stuff, that's right down below in the chat. It's also linked in the description of this video, or you can just go to Chris@peak.com, just like my name, Chris@peak with a .com at the end. You can find all my stuff. New here, welcome in, Raven Long. Do you also resell? And tell us what kind of stuff do you resell? Or are you thinking about reselling? Where are you at in your journey? Raven says eBay first. So she's new here. She just shows up and she's already telling me what to do. I like this. Welcome in, Raven. We'll start with eBay. Just started to resell. Excited to hear your tips. Great to have you, Ingrid. Hope things are going well. What types of stuff are you reselling and kind of how things are going on your end? I love to hear about it. If you have questions, drop them. Thriftin Mimi is in the house. Vineyard, we'll do Posh second. How about that? I see your vote for Posh. Morning from the hot desert. All is good. Sales are slow, but I have been focused on other things. I think probably what you mean by other things is probably the pool. That's my guess, right? Am I right? Am I right? I bet you I'm right. Welcome in, everybody. Good to have you. We'll start with eBay first. Is there a cheaper box inventory system? I don't want to pay $60 for boxes just to store my inventory. Thank you. How many items are you going to have in inventory? Because at some point, you can only get so cheap on boxes unless you're ordering a real lot. So give me an idea, how much inventory are we talking about? Is it all clothing? Let me know. And really $60, that's really not that much. Hi there from North Idaho. How many boxes are you getting for $60? Maybe I can give you an idea. Koki Poki is in the house. Long time follower. Koki Poki was with me back in the beginning, TikTok, Instagram days. The very, very beginning, back in 2020, 2021. So Koki Poki, always fun to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Got the peak season light roast Friday, and I've drank it every day since. I love it, Rob. I've been drinking some of the light roast too. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate your business. I've just started dabbling, and I'm going to sell clothing, shoes, and Y2K items. Nice. Really, whatever I find while treasure hunting. I like your style. Poker, pickleball, the pool, 2 vacations in June. Just dominating life over there, Nick Smith. I love it. Work to live, not live to work, right? I like it. Mostly clothing, yes. Okay, cool. 25 pack for $60. So you're basically paying like $2 and change per box, but those boxes are pretty big. Honestly, I don't think you're going to find a solution that's going to be much cheaper than that. I mean, could you find boxes maybe on sale that are that large size and maybe get them for $1.50 a box? Maybe. But if you haven't checked Staples, you might check out Staples for their boxes too. Sometimes I order most of my boxes through Staples, not through Amazon. Sometimes those are cheaper. So you might check out staples.com and see if you can get a slightly better deal. But honestly, like $2 and change for those big boxes, if you're only buying like a quantity of 25, is actually not bad. You can get boxes cheaper if you're buying quantity by the thousand, but for small quantities, it's tough to get them much cheaper than that for such a large size, to be honest. I use Costco boxes, long, thin, and free. I like it. Kitchen remodel going down. Nice. Always a local store that will give away boxes. May not be perfect shape or size, but hey, it's free. That's a good idea too. I like that. Excess stuff in the home right now. Sold $379 my first week on eBay. 3 pieces of jewelry I never wear. I love that. What a great way to start. Just start with stuff that you already have in your house, and now like learn the listing process, learn the shipping process with items that are essentially are zero cost of goods for you because they're already there. You already got them. Live like no one else so you can live and give like no one else. I like it, Nick Smith. I like you, Nick Smith. It will be a hot week in Western North New York. Hoping I'll get some hot sales this week. Y'all, Kim was like telling me some temperatures that we're going to have at some point this week. She said things like 90 and 91. I stopped listening and I was like, let's not talk about this. I don't even want to know. So I guess at some point this week, it's going to be that kind of hot. Today, like pulling orders in the garage felt like I was pulling orders in a sauna. It was so hot out there. Always love your posts. So educational. Appreciate that. Hey, Mom, welcome in. Were your sales down this week? I had 3 days last week with no sales. I was down like a little bit, but just the normal like ups and downs of business. But sorry to hear you had 3 days in a row without sales. Okay, well, if I were advice, I'd go with those boxes. You helped me make my decision. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I know it's hard to sort of invest money into the business. It's like, especially early on, right? You want to like realize your profits and you don't want to kind of invest back. I get it. It's a natural feeling. And it's good to be frugal as a business owner, right? You want to, if you're going to spend money on something for your business, you want to make sure that you're getting a return on it. And, but I think the box system, being really organized with your inventory right from the beginning is going to be really important to you, especially as you grow. So I think investing in a system, $60 really isn't that much, but I like your attitude. You really got to be frugal, especially as you're launching your business so that you make sure that you're spending your money in the right way. And organization at the beginning is really, really smart. The second thing I would say after organization would be some sort of really good photo light situation. So that way all the easiest way to upgrade your sales is to improve your photos. And the easiest way to improve your photos is just to improve your lighting. So that would be the second thing I would consider investing in your business would be, good photo lights. Afternoon, Salty is in the house. I did have a good weekend. We had a nice weekend, spent some time with friends and relaxed a good bit. Got our fitness in this weekend, got a little short hike in between rain over the weekend. It's kind of like that tropical time of year here in the mountains of Asheville. It is a temperate rainforest is technically what our climate is considered out here. So we're definitely like in that, like get hot, and then get showers later in the day, like mountain showers kind of stuff. What's up, Ben? How are you? Welcome in, brother. Good to have you. It's really paying for boxes hurts so much. I hear you. But spent thousands and thousands of dollars on boxes over the years. It's part of the business. If you're spending money on boxes, that means you're doing, business is good and you're shipping stuff out, right? I just started Nifty last night. Used your code. Thank you, Koki Pokey. Appreciate that. I have questions I will ask you as you're chatting with us all. Sure, fire them away. One thing too, Koki Pokey, and I'm not saying don't ask me questions. Ask away. I love it. But inside Nifty, there's a little bot called the Auto Bot, OTTO, and it's actually really helpful with answering a lot of questions too about like how to use things. So that's a good place to start too. It says Ask Auto over in the left-hand corner on the side there, and you can click on that and ask it some questions too. But feel free to fire away too. I'm not telling you not to ask. How long do you source daily? I don't typically source daily. I just sort of I get it in where I get it in. I don't really have a schedule. A lot of people think that I have like this like regimented schedule. It's like, honestly, this whole thing is held together by bubble gum, duct tape, and toothpicks, I guess, right? So I just get out when I get out. You know, some weeks I do more than others. How fast do you respond to offers? Are you slower with lowball offers? I just respond to them as I see them. Am I slower with lowballs? No, I just respond to them as I see them and sort of move on. I think like having like a task sort of lingering probably it doesn't work well for me. Just get it done and move forward. What's up, Francis? How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. Well, hey, don't laugh. That's the way it is, I think. And you've worked probably for companies too. And like on the outside looking in, you're like, this place really has it figured out. And then like once you get into like maybe your third or fourth day, you start realizing like, hey, this place is held together by bubblegum, duct tape, and toothpicks too, right? Like we always think that these businesses, even Fortune 500, like they got it all figured out. And then you get on the inside and you're like, I'm not even sure how this place holds together some days. My business is no different than that. So maybe yours is better than mine. I hope it is, but I'm just being honest with you. Let's do some eBay orders here. So let's just jump right in. Keep those questions and comments coming. I love hearing about your sales and how things are going. So first order out the door, Columbia. I'll tell you how many pieces of Columbia I've sold so far this year. This is a Columbia pair of PFG, just like hiking fishing shorts. These are kind of cool because they have the bottle opener. You won't be able to see it, but like the bottle opener and that like front cargo pocket. Pretty cool piece right here. This sold within like an hour, like less than an hour of me listing this item. So obviously very in season right now. Columbia PFG sells well for me in the summertime, especially when it's like heat waves. Columbia does really well for me. I actually got a couple Columbia going out the door today. So $21.99 full asking price on this, sold in less than an hour. I paid $5 for this at a thrift store. So we're talking about like a, $10 to $12 profit on this item right here. And just a nice quick flip. I love that. So it's nice if you think about it, right? I paid $5 for this. So with that sale, I get my $5 back. Plus I got, after shipping and fees, I got myself another, we'll call it $11. So now I have $16 to go back to the thrift store this week already. I just picked this up the other day. So now I can go back to the thrift store. Now, instead of having $5, I got $16. So that's the way I like to think about it, especially with these quick flips here. Now I can reinvest more money into the business because I just turned 5 into 16 and just keep flipping, keep on flipping. With 16, now I can buy 3 items this week with that profit right there. So out the door here on those Columbias, first one out the door. Welcome in, everybody. If you're just popping in, we're just getting started shipping orders. We got orders from the last 48 hours, everything since Saturday at noontime, which is the last time that I shipped. Won't be as long as as last week's live, because last week I also had I did not ship on Saturday because we were away. So this will be a shorter live. Plus, I wasn't as busy this weekend as last weekend overall, but still a solid weekend. That's facts. Yeah, that's right, Dr. Derek. Slow weekend for me, but my fault since I didn't list the past few days. Did sell a couple expensive items. Nice to have those big sales go out the door. I like that you're like turning it back on you and you're not saying like the eBay gods aren't taking care of me, because there are no eBay gods out there, right? You are the master and commander of your own success, luck, or whatever that is. So I'm glad that you pointed the finger back at yourself and to say, look, I gotta get after it. I listed 133 items last week. So I was like, I know summer slowdown's coming. I want to just want to crank. What's up, Mark? How are you? It's going to be in the mid upper 90s, heat index around 115. St. Louis. That's crazy hot. We're supposed to get some lower 90s, Kim was telling me, but I was like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to hear it. I hate the hot weather like that. Do you do better with listing clothes as auction plus buy it now, or just I don't do any auctions whatsoever, Ingrid. Just buy it now. No auctions. Found my first pair of Lululemon pants. You were right when you said those are hard to recognize at first. Fabric seemed nice for a cheap pair of pants with no tags. There you go. Yep. Just flip over that front button right there, the top button, and you'll see the logo right there. So easy. Once you kind of like really know like the few different fabric styles of the Lululemons, you'll just you'll spot them from 10 feet away, and or as soon as your hand gets on them, you're like, oh, okay, this is Lululemon. Hey, I think this newbie got her first bolo this past week. Super excited. Nice. Well, now you got to share. You got to let us know what that is. That's awesome. Motivated Mama. Hey, man, love your content. Videos keep me motivated as a small part-time reseller, even through the summer slowdown. Adam, that's awesome. Thanks for the positive vibes. This account is for you. I think the challenge here is the full-timers get put on a pedestal because we got more time to like do stuff like this, like to go live and flap our gums and whatever. So I think people like put the full-timers on the pedestal, but to me, it's people like you, it's sellers like you, Adam, that are doing it part-time, right? You got other priorities, whether it's work or family or whatever it is, you got other stuff to work on and you're trying to make a few extra bucks. I think that's what's reselling is the best for that. Like you're what this channel is for you side hustlers and all that stuff. So sending positive vibes to you as maybe summer slowdown doesn't grip you so bad this year. I hope it doesn't, but yeah, this channel is for you. It is not, it's not necessarily for full-time folks, although we have plenty of people who are full-time sellers who follow us too. Thank you for everything. You're welcome, Dino's Garage. Welcome in. Good to see you. Welcome in. Good to see you. 3 pairs in a row, a new record for me. Sold an Airstream chair. 3 streams in a row. Okay, 3 streams in a row. I get you. Welcome back, Swiss. Good to have you. Sold a Airstream chair for $100 this weekend. June shaping up to beat May. Mine's already beat May. That's awesome. I like to hear that June is cranking. I feel June softening though. So a couple of things. So we have 4th of July, as probably everybody knows. I'm not like teaching you that, but so this week is 4th of July. What is it? Friday or is it Saturday? I should have this dialed. 4th of July is Saturday. So what's going to happen is like actually right now we're in the middle of probably the biggest vacation week of the year. It's either going to be this week or next week. When 4th of July falls on the Saturday, you basically have 2 weeks of vacation time. Obviously, some people took this week off, right? Because then they can have 4th of July linked up, right? So they can have their full 9 days, meaning they have this weekend off. They'll have this full week, and then they'll have next weekend off. Other people are going to start, like they'll have like Friday off from their job, right? Because they'll get the 3rd of July off because 4th of July is on a Saturday. So they'll start their vacation Friday and then they'll loop around for the following week. So really we have 2 weeks in a row that are the 2 biggest vacation weeks of the year, aside from Christmas. Christmas is number 1. So these will be like week number 2 and week number 3. So you have a lot of people who are spending a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of attention on doing things other than online shopping. They're out traveling, they're at the beach, they're at the lake, they're in the mountains, wherever it is that they go, right? And so they're not really shopping as much. So this, to me, tends to be a soft couple of weeks. It's a good time for me to kind of get away a little bit and to, for me to relax a little bit, because I just know that these couple of weeks, no matter what I do, it's probably not going to be all that busy. So just got to share that out there. It doesn't mean that you should not hustle during these weeks, but I try to pick times that are slow, that I know my business is going to be slow, to sort of unwind a little bit and to relax a little bit and to have some fun a little bit. So I'll do that this week instead of trying to like fight upstream. But we got 2 weeks basically in a row that are going to be slower, 3 weekends, including this weekend, which tend to be a little bit slower. You can still have good weeks. You can still have good weekends. You can still have good days. But on average, this is just going to be a little bit of a slower time over the next few weeks. So don't be alarmed if sales are a little bit slower. People aren't spending as much time staring at their screens, So that's what it is. So even though I had a really good June and I'm like, I really want to finish it strong, it's like, I don't know if it's going to finish super strong. It's just kind of, we're swimming upstream. People are vacationing and all that stuff. Good afternoon from Florida. We're boiling here. So staying in listing sales have been great. And I'm glad to hear that, Blackhawk. Hustling while it's hot outside. I can't stand that summer Florida heat. I determined mid-February I would list at least 20 items every single day. Let's go. It has done wonders. We haven't had a month that we didn't sell more than the previous month. Just sold number 280 on the month, a new record. I love this record. It's good stuff. Good hustle, Ben. You're putting in the work and you're getting the results, and that's what it's all about. I'm in Illinois, across the river from St. Louis. Mark isn't joking. It's hot and humid. Oof, that area, it's crazy how hot I can get down there, huh? With your growing knowledge on sport coats, are you picking up new tags, Duchamp sport coats, cheap to try them out? I found 2 at the bins, along with a poncho shirt. Love finding those shirts. I'd have to comp that. I don't have an answer for you off the top of my head, to be honest with you. But if it was a nice pattern, I'd probably take a look and see what the comps are looking at, what the sell-through rate's like, and make a decision. Nice find on the poncho shirts. That's great. Found 2 at the bins. or found 4 poncho shirts. Damn, nice finds. That's awesome. AYR, the secret sauce women's jeans, over 100% sell-through rate and great comps. So let me know what you think. I think that's awesome. You did your homework, 100% sell-through, 100% plus sell-through. Nice job, nice find. I like your I like the bolo. I appreciate you sharing that with all of us. I know everyone else appreciates it too. I always get motivated on a Monday after watching your shipping videos. Last Monday, found 2 Kanawi blazers, 2 Brooks Brothers, all newer modern tags, $10 each. Crazy haul. Thanks for the positive vibes. I'm glad you found that stuff. First time on the live, but a Greenville, South Carolina part-timer here. What do you do if you buy a vintage suit coat with a hole in it and can't return it? Nathan, welcome aboard. Good to have you into the live. You're just about an hour south of me. I'm here in Asheville, as you probably know. So I was just in Greenville like, about a month ago. Had a good time. So what do you do if you buy a vintage suit coat with a hole in it and can't return it? I would just list it as is. So I would call out the flaw in the item title in the description and have a close-up photo with a pointer pointing right at the flaw. I use like a pen just to point at it. So that's what I would do, and just price it down at the bottom of the market, below every single other one that you're competing against. And hopefully somebody will buy it and is willing to invest a few bucks to have a tailor repair that item. That's how I would do it. You could also pay a tailor to repair that item if you wanted to. But for me, I don't get into the projects. I call it profits, not projects. I would rather flip that jacket for cheaper and just sort of move on, and instead of getting into the project. But you could take it to a tailor and see if you can get it fixed, but it's going to cost you money. It's going to take you time. I just choose not to do that kind of stuff. Price it down, get it gone, move on. Been part-time reselling for a couple months now and on pace to make more than I do with my full-time job soon. That's freaking awesome. Let's go. Appreciate the positive vibes too. And thanks for sharing your success. That's really awesome. I love hearing y'all just crushing it over there. I found a New York Knicks starter sweatshirt for $5 at a garage sale, flipped it for $150. Good timing. It's like the one time in like a million years that the Knicks have actually been good. So you actually found it at a really good time. That's awesome. I love that flip on Depop. That's good for you. It's definitely summer slowdown for me, but remember who I'm competing with: Amazon, department stores, mall, thrift stores, and outside vendors. You're competing with everybody. You're competing over people's wallets, right? All those places are taking money, are trying to take money out of people's wallets. You're just one of them. You're not just, it's right. You're not just competing with other eBayers, but you are competing with us too. Really starting to roll now. Was psyched to send out 5 things Friday. Let's go. Silly question. What is the deal with offers? I don't know. There was a limit. It will say, for example, you have 2 offers left. Can you explain that? So in the back, I think you're talking about eBay. So eBay just limits it to like on a negotiation that there can be 4 offers back and forth. And that's what you're looking at. So you see like that counting down. It starts with 4, offer back and forth, so on and so forth. So I don't know why they decided to do that. I think they're probably like trying to make it so like, all right, let's get down to business. But somebody could still send you a new offer even after the 4. So, but I think they're just trying to create like a sense of urgency. Like, hey, you only got 2 offers left, so let's make this next offer a good one. I think that's probably the thought process. But I can't say for sure. I can't speak for eBay. Just notice that this might be a little blurry. Maybe. Is that better? I think that's better. Maybe not. Maybe my eyes are just blurry. That could be it too. Hope that helps. Reach out to Whatnot as my ads weren't showing up. Long story short, sold 5 items in 2 weeks. That's awesome. How did you what resolution did they come to? What did they do for you? That's interesting. I'd be curious to hear what the resolution was. Suddenly getting eBay notifications that items have shipped. Anyone else? I don't think so. No, I don't think I get those. I remember 2 streams ago, you teach me about rain jackets selling in the summer for hikers. Shipping out an outdoor research to Hawaii today. Nice. How much did you get for that outdoor research? And do you know what model it was? I kind of geek out about that stuff. I remember that conversation. A great time of year to sell anything that people can wear for hiking and all that stuff. Y'all are like really chatty today, and I freaking love it. Let's ship an order. I'm going to put this comment up on the screen. We'll get to it in a second. I got to ship something. I got to do something over here. This is order number 2. Lord mercy. All right. Got a pair of Brooks Brothers Milano fit. This is a size 36 by 30, just a khaki. So it's Supima cotton spandex blend. Brooks Brothers pair of pants. This had like a small little spot on it somewhere. So I priced it a little bit cheaper, and it sold for full asking price, $23.99. I usually price these around $27.99 and accept offers. But because of that, like one little faint little spot that I called out, again, in the item title, in the description, and in the photos, I pointed it out. So I get very few returns on items that are flawed because I'm really careful about calling them out, and I just price it lower in the market and get them gone. So that's funny. I listed like 1, 2, 3, I think it was 4 pairs of Brooks Brothers pants that I found at a thrift store, all the same size. This was the one that was flawed. The one that was flawed sold first. The other 3 are still out in that same bin. So there you have it. So don't be scared of small flaws. They can still sell as long as the item that you bought, you know, like this is a $27 item without the spot. So there's still room for me to make margin on a flawed item. Because, you know, I can price it at $23.99. I paid $5, so there's still profit there. This is going to William in Louisville, Kentucky. Let's see. I just hired an independent contractor to do my photos and add to SKU system, looking for them to do 200 listings a month for me as I'm away from work. I love that. I love that. Invest in people to help you grow your business. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I like it. How's it going? How's like training going? Are they actually like coming to your home or to your space, or how's that working out? I really like it. STR is really bad. What's the STR really bad on? I'm probably not connecting the dots on that conversation. Sorry. Hope all is well. This is like Grand Central Station. Hope all is well. Just saying hello. Day job beckons. Sadly, Andrew, thanks for popping in. Don't work too hard, brother. You should kick your feet up a little bit. It's like 4th of July week. I'm saving money for right now, getting ready for retail sales in late July, August. I like it. Sales 7 on Depop, 4 on Posh, 4 on eBay. Posh for the win this week, Mike. I like it. I appreciate the report too. Solid weekend. I like it. Never said what it was. Just asked me to share 5 ads I had listed. 2 days later, they said it was fixed. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Well, I'm glad you got it fixed. So my Whatnot was, I was in Whatnot jail for a little bit, and then they let me out of jail. I got 6 sales in 6 days. I haven't had a sale, I think, in 9 days now. So I don't know what happened. I'm still trying to figure out the Whatnot. I mean, it was like clockwork. Once a day, I was getting a sale for 6 days, and then all of a sudden, 9 days now with 0 a day. So I don't know I did get an offer on Saturday, but it was a low offer. I countered and they went away. So I did get a little bit of activity at Saturday. I had hope. I almost got a sale. What are your thoughts on Nifty adjusting the prices to level out the platform fees? Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, that's a new addition. So those of you who are using Nifty for cross-listing and automation, you might have saw, I love how they're always updating stuff and adding new things. So this new update, which came in, I don't know, middle of last week sometime. So basically what it is based on when you list an item and you set the price for $20, it's going to raise the price for Poshmark. So we'll just say like $22 for Poshmark. And then on Mercari, since the fees are lower, it'll price it at like $19, and Whatnot, the fees are even lower, right? So then they price it at like $17 or something like that. I don't know what the exact ratios are. So it automatically will do all that. And you can set your own rules with it. I went and turned that off. I list things for the same price across all platforms. I just feel like I would just lose my mind with like all this different pricing. So I turned that feature off. I get the feature. I like the feature. I think it's smart. But also here's the thing, eBay, I promote on eBay. So really there's really not it's about the same like fees I pay on eBay to Poshmark on average anyway. So for me, that kind of doesn't really make sense to like have it priced up on Poshmark because of the higher fees, because it's honestly the same fees as eBay. So I just turned it off and I made everything, if I list it for 20, it's 20 across the board, but I could understand how somebody else would want to leave that feature on. I think it's a smart addition. People have asked me about that feature in the past, if they would add it, and they did. $40, and it was Women's Rambler. Nice. Do you have a certain size box one of my favorite rain jackets, by the way, it was probably my favorite rain jacket that I ever owned, was an Outdoor Research. I forget what the model was, and I freaking left it at the green race, like back in like it might have been like 2016, 2015. It was a long time ago. I won't forget that jacket. It's been 10 years, and I'm still like, I left it at the green race down in Saluda, like the Green River kayaking race. Just freaking left it there like a dummy. I'll never forget that jacket. Blue. It was so bomber in the rain. It was great. Super hard. Such a high quality product. Did you do a live first? I haven't done one and can see my listings when I look myself up logged in, but my items aren't showing up in search. I contacted, but they were no help. So Desert Rain, and this is for anybody who wants to sell, like, so Whatnot added, or sorry, Nifty added Whatnot is one of the platforms you can cross list to a couple of months ago now. And so here's what you're going to want to do if you want to have your items seen over there. So if you've never done a live stream on Whatnot, I've done dozens, I mean, probably 100 live streams on Whatnot. I haven't done them in a couple of years, but I've sold over 2,000 items on Whatnot going live. But now I'm selling also on Whatnot, just as like the marketplace, right? So you can sell live or you can sell in a marketplace and list it just like eBay, Posh Market, etc. And Nifty makes it really easy to cross list over there. Just takes an extra second, click a box and get it onto to Whatnot as well. So, but what you want to do is if you've never done a live on Whatnot, if you cross list stuff onto Whatnot, it won't show up in search results. And you can test this. You can literally just copy and paste the item titles of one of your items. Do it with like 4 or 5 and search Whatnot, right? To see if they pop up. Don't search your store. Just search like the Whatnot search, like you were searching on eBay or something like that. And, you know, choose 4 or 5 items and see, is your item actually showing up in search results? If it's not, then you're going to want to do this one simple thing. Schedule a live, cancel the live. Like, and I think you should be good. Let me know. Try that out in Desert Rain. You can try it out right now, like while we're live. You can just go in, schedule a live, and then go and like just cancel that live. I think you'll be good, but I'm not sure. I've heard some varying responses from that. If not, if that doesn't work, the next thing I would do is I would reach out to eBay, like who was just telling, or reach out to Whatnot. Somebody was just telling us about that. That was Adam. Adam said he reached out and it took him a little while, but they actually got it fixed. So I imagine that that's something that Whatnot's going to want to fix. They've been saying that they want to put emphasis into marketplace. And if they want to put emphasis on marketplace, then they're going to have to allow people that are new to the platform that don't want to sell live. They're going to have to allow them to be able to list their items and actually get them to be seen. So I imagine that they'll fix that because it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't. Like, why would they not want that to happen, right? Like, why would they not want to get more items listed on there so they can get more people buying stuff? So I think they'll fix it, but I don't know. I don't have any like inside info about how it would work. I checked if I was in jail. Glad it's working. Just had $70 sales. Nice. Dang, you tried looking for that jacket. Have you tried looking for that jacket you lost on eBay? No, I mean, that was that was before when was that? No, that wasn't 2015. Yeah, it was probably 2015 when I went to that race and left that jacket. So no, I have other rain jackets since. I did not look for it on eBay though. Probably not a bad idea. I got a black diamond rain jacket now, which I like also, but that OR jacket was a better jacket. I cross-listed Whatnot, haven't done a live show, but zero movement there. I have 1,800 items. Ben, I think you probably just heard that thing before. Oh, you scheduled and canceled the live show. Gotcha. So another thing you can do, and this is like basically foolproof, is do a live and just sell some stuff. Go on there with some old inventory that's been sitting around for a while. And I think you got to get to like $150 in sales or something like that. And then like, I think then you get the green light. There's also like a bonus, I think too, if you signed up for Whatnot through somebody, like through a creator, like if you signed up through my code on Whatnot, or my link, then there's like a bonus you get when you hit like $150 in sales or something like that. So that's another thing you can do, is just do a live with some old inventory, have some fun with it. No pressure basically, because you're like, hey, I just want to get rid of some of this stuff, run like some $5 starts on some things and see what happens. See if you can get to $150 in sales, and then you should be good to go. But I'd also reach out to them too and see like what's going on. That's my plan. Cool. I like it. I scheduled the live and canceled it, but I'll try again and see if it works this time. Gotcha. I definitely can't do a live, no space, and all my stuff is packed in a storage unit. Gotcha. I'm just going to say, I definitely can't do a live. What do you need to do a live? I could set up a live on my front porch, and I can go grab some stuff out of a bin in my garage, and you get a storage unit. So you can just bring a bin from your storage unit, bring it out, turn it, and do a live like out on your front patio. You can do it in your storage unit. I mean, people do that all the time. So this idea that like, I can't do it, I just don't have, come on. I've done lives out on my front patio. Just bring their phone out there and set it up. And so come on now. Anybody can do it. Good afternoon. I found my list. Now, if you don't want to do it, that's another story. But saying can't is not something I'm a big fan of. Good afternoon. I found my first pair of Fall Raven G100 pants today. That's awesome. Great brand to look for. Fall Raven, especially the pants, are such a good seller. Really good. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's definitely a good one. I love it. Biblical reselling info from Chris at Peak. After this, we could all say it was written like Nas. I like it, my man. I like it. Watch out for scammers. Someone on Mercari asked me for a UPC of an item I'm selling. I blocked that scammer immediately. Good, Candy. Nice defense on that. I always wanted to do lives with my comics just to let them go already. I like it. All right, let's ship some stuff. Got a G4. This brand in general doesn't sell like it once did. Very common with brands. They peak. Then distribution goes crazy. The supply is out there. And this is definitely true with G4. G4 actually got purchased by, I don't know if you can even see that. G4 got purchased by Peter Millar back in 2018. So immediately this brand that didn't have large distribution plugged into an older school brand, Peter Millar, that has huge distribution. And we saw this brand start everywhere, new, used, whatever. It blew up. So G4, what happens with that is once your supply goes up, even though these are still in demand, people still like G4. There's just so much supply out there, right? So it's not just demand that we're worried about. We're worried about the supply as well. And that's what happens when brands blow up. They're everywhere. We saw it happen with Lululemon. There's still high demand for Lululemon. Thousands of Lululemons get sold on eBay every single month. But they blew up. The distribution increased. And now there's just so much supply out in the marketplace of Lululemon. That's why you've seen sell-through rates and prices go down. Demand has not slowed down for Lululemon. It sells like crazy. Same is true for G4. There's just more supply out there. This one sold for $58.49. It's brand new with tags. This is a $155 piece. Quarter zip, Q zip. Now this would have sold 3 years ago. It's $155 retail. Probably would have sold for like $75 or $79 pretty easily. But they've blown up since. We've seen sell-through rates fall. We've seen sale prices fall, right? Because once people have items sitting for a while, because sell-through rate's low, they lower their price, just like I did on this one. So this was on a Nifty best offer, $58.49. So my cross-lister Nifty also has built-in automation tools, including auto offers, and that's what sold this one. So the item was listed for, 60-something bucks. And this buyer, Rodrigo, came in, and this looks like it's actually going to like a reshipper. That's my guess based on the address. It's like right on the border. That's Laredo, Texas. So anyway, 10 minutes after Rodrigo watched this item on eBay, my cross-lister Nifty sent a 10% off auto offer. That's what I have it programmed to do. You don't have to have that feature turned on. I would strongly suggest you do if you have Nifty. Turn on auto offers. They get me extra sales every single day. Actually, the next one was an auto offer as well. So this one sold $58.49 on that auto offer. I didn't send it. Nifty sent it to that buyer 10 minutes after they watched the item. So basically the thought process is like, okay, cool. This person watched this item. They're interested in the item, but for some reason they haven't bought it. It waits 10 minutes to see like, okay, will they actually buy it full price? No? Cool. Let's entice them to close this deal because we don't want to let them off the hook. We don't want them to go buy somebody else's. We don't want them to go buy it on Poshmark or Amazon or whatever, right? It's called an abandoned cart is what they refer to that as in the e-commerce world. And it's the same thing. If somebody watched your item, they're probably never going to buy that item because they have so many other options out there or they could change their mind. The idea is you've got somebody interested, close the damn sale. And that's what that feature does on Nifty. I am a huge fan of Nifty overall, as you know, but that feature itself makes me extra money every single day. I'm going to drop a link right below. You can try Nifty for free for 7 days. All you got to do is tap that link, and that gives you a free 7-day trial. You can test all the features, the AI listing, the automation tools, the cross-listing, all that stuff, the analytics. You can test that for 7 days, see if it works for your business, see if you're having some impact from it. If you are, you'll get 15% off your first month. All you have to do is tap that link right there in the chat. If you're on Instagram, you can't tap links in the chat. Sorry. All you got to do is tap on my name, go to my profile, and you'll find that same link. The link is also in the description of this video. The link is always at chrisatpeak.com. It's a free trial for 7 days and 15% off your first month if you like it. What did I miss here? What are your go-to hiking shoes and boots? Would love to get more knowledgeable in this field. to add to my reselling arsenal? Me personally, I wear Brooks for hiking, but I have other, like I have some like I don't know if you're asking about reselling or not. I also have some Aslo like full leather core boots. I hardly ever wear those. That's like what I wear, like what I wore up in New Hampshire, like hiking in the wintertime. What else do I have for hiking? I think that's it. I don't know if I have any more like rugged boots. I usually just wear like Brooks trail runners. One second. I'll be back. Sorry, Nicole, the mail lady, was here. We got our requisite junk mail. And I think I got some shipping supplies from USPS. No returns, I don't think. No, I think this is a return, actually, for a free trial. I'll deal with that later. I don't like returns. I usually tell them, like, don't bring me returns. Not allowed. All right, so next up is a pair of Carhartt jeans. Welcome in, everybody. We're shipping out sales from the weekend. And it was a solid weekend. Not as busy as last weekend, but solid. It's June. Sales are softening a little bit later in the month for me here, but still a really good month overall. Next up is Carhartt. We're going to go through all these orders. This is a pair of Carhartt fleece line jeans. So fleece lines. I picked these up in Winston-Salem on that YouTube video, my last Winston-Salem trip on YouTube. And I picked these up and I literally said out loud, I'm like, this pair of fleece line Carhartt pants, I'm going to buy them now for $6, or sorry, Carhartt fleece line jeans. I'm gonna buy them for $6 now, and it's investment in October because these will sell in October. Well, they sold in June, so $22.49 on these. I paid $6 for them. I'm not getting rich off these, but I knew they would sell. But I just didn't think they'd sell that quickly. And these also sold on a nifty best offer. So again, my cross lister has automation tools built in, including auto offers. So this person, William, liked this or watched this item on eBay. And 10 minutes later, Nifty automatically sent a 10% off offer. So these sold for $22.49 plus $9.95 shipping on these. And these are going to Reno, Nevada. In the middle of the summer, somebody's grabbing them a pair of fleece line Carhartt pants. Maybe they work in like a refrigerated, like business kind of thing. I don't know. Can't imagine you'd want to wear these outside this time of year. But they sold. I'll take it. Love those nifty auto offers. Next up is another nifty auto offer right in a row, $17.09. I don't buy a ton of these REI shirts. This is like a modern tag REI co-op. And I picked this up. It's a button-down like short sleeve, button-down short sleeve hiking shirt. Really cool pattern. Kind of sucked me in on the pattern. I was like, I'm going to grab that pattern. Somebody will fall in love with it. This one took just over a month to sell, and that nifty best offer, $17.09. So I think I had it listed for $19.99. We got a pretty quick sale on that one. Definitely like the time of year to be selling like anything kind of like hiking, fishing, something that people would wear for that. I don't buy all REI stuff, but if it's like gear, like stuff, something that somebody would wear as gear to go out and hike, fish, hunt, whatever. That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for from REI. Same as like Cabela's, same as like Duluth, like all those like outdoor clothing stores. So this one's going to Simon. This is going to El Paso, Texas. Kind of a cool shirt, I thought. I got all my eBay stuff into Nifty. Now I'm moving them into each place. Mercari, Posh, whatnot. but it says my 7-day free service is maxed on day 1. I can't add. Should I just pay and go for it? So Koki Poki, what you ran into is, and this happens with a lot of people, the idea is they want you to be able to try Nifty for 7 days, but they don't want you to be able to like go and cross-list all your items and use their service for free for 7 days, right? And then be like, cool, I'm good. I got all my inventory cross-listed. And these people just did it for me for free. That's not what the trial is for. So they just kind of capped you. But you can still test out all the analytics. You can still turn on all the automation tools, which I would suggest you do that right away. Turn on all those automations, because especially that sharing on Poshmark, that's where you're going to really see some impact over on Poshmark. But that's what happened is you just went ham, and they're like, look, we're not going to let you cross-list your entire closet here in 7 days, and just so you can go bye-bye. They're like, this is a business too, not a charity. So that's what you ran into. So there you go. Hi, can you say why outdoor so expensive last time? Artem, I'm not really sure. I don't understand that question. I'm sorry. You might have to rephrase it for me. What do you use to track everything for tax time? 2 things. Nifty can track that for you, but since I sell also outside of Nifty, I have my own website for the coffee. I also sell on Amazon, and I generate income through social media and all that stuff in sponsored ads and all that. I need something in addition to Nifty to track all my stuff. So I use a Jason Hayes's reseller spreadsheet. I'll get you a direct link to it. Jason Hayes is a good friend of mine. He's actually my eBay sensei. He was the one who took me to a thrift store back in 2018 for like my first time like thrifting to flip, and he kind of showed me all the ropes. And Jason's a good guy. He's a content creator too, but he created the reseller spreadsheet like 4 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. I used to build my own spreadsheets, and then I'm like, man, this guy builds a better spreadsheet, and I don't have to invest the time into doing it every year. And he makes it better every single year. So I'm going to get you the link for that. It is right here. Whoops. This should work. Let me know if this works. I think that's the link right there. I use the creator spreadsheet because I need all those extra features. For most people, I suggest getting the premium spreadsheet. So there's 3 price points. The lower price point, I just don't think is enough for most resellers, the basic. The premium is what most people use. But if you also sell live on Whatnot and you're creating content and stuff, you might want to get the creator one, which is the one I use. But for most, the premium. I also have a discount code for it. It's if you enter the code, I think it's, I should know all this, shouldn't I? The code is thanks Chris. Oops. And that'll get you 10% off. Not bad. That's right there in the chat. That's also, that link is always available at chris@peak.com. It's on my recommended reseller supplies and tools. It's right near the top. It's like the 4th thing. So I'm going to drop that whole list, by the way, right there in the chat too, because I haven't done it yet. So everything I use for my business is linked right here at that little tiny URL that I dropped there. So you can find Jason Hayes's reseller spreadsheet there. You can find my discount code there. You can find Nifty. You can find all my shipping supplies, everything down to like my photo lights, the desk that we're shipping on, my thermal printer, my scale, everything I use and recommend for the business is linked at that link right there. It says tiny URL. That's what recommended reseller supplies. If you're on Instagram, you can't click links in the chat, but you can easily tap on my name and you can find all that same stuff. How do you deal with Posh being annoying about delisting? Haven't really run into any trouble with it, to be honest with you. I got suspended like once or twice, like over a year ago when they first like started doing that silly policy. Goofy policy is what I usually refer to. But I haven't had any issues with it since. Koki Poki, well, true. Okay, I'm on it, and make sure your code is included. We'll check auto too. Got it. You're good. You're good, Koki Poki, and feel free. You can ask more questions too. I'm not trying to steer you away to auto, but the auto thing is pretty good. That's a good feature in Nifty. Unless it takes a bit of time, running another live didn't work. Going to try contacting Whatnot again. Smart move. Awesome. Thank you. You're welcome, Motivated Mama. Just pay for it. It'll work out the best. 600 items I've sold on there in 5 months. That's crazy results, Mark. Crazy results. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Does the spreadsheet automatically import your sales transactions? No, it does not. What do you know about the pricing rules in Nifty? Do you use them? I don't. I just turned them off. But if you just go to your settings, you can see exactly you can change your rules and all that stuff. It automatically defaults it to certain rules, so it's doing the pricing based on your fees. So since Poshmark has higher fees, it increases your price a little bit to account for those extra fees. But Mercari has less fees, so it lowers the price to account for that. Whatnot has less fees, so it lowers the price to account for that. I just turned it off because I like everything at the same price across all the platforms. If you have follow-up questions about that, let me know. All right. Am I all caught up now? I'm not. Do you do free shipping, Chris? No, I don't resell. Welcome in, Resell Side Quest, and new to the channel. Good to have you. I do not do free shipping. I'm sure you're aware already, but Cypress Point Golf is a good one to look out for. I remember you saying not to skip pieces because of logos. Paid off big for me, $7 into $100 on the jacket. Ooh, yeah. I mean, so that was that was a thing, and as I started reselling, there was a lot of creators that would talk about not picking up golf polos with country club logos on them. And they would just say with logos. If there's a logo on it from a company or whatever, don't pick it up. And I just don't think that that's good advice, because exactly what you said right there. Some logos are actually going to add value, a little bit of value, and some logos are going to add a lot of value. Like you ran into that Cypress Point, which is a big money maker. Some of these courses that are, top 100 rated, ranked in the world, people are looking for those pieces and pay up for them, because if they, it costs a lot of money to go play at these courses, and most of them are private. You can't even get in anyway. But say you can get in, a buddy or whatever, right? Your greens fees can be $500, $600, $700 to play 18 holes at one of these places. And then if you want to pick up a polo from Cypress Point in the clubhouse afterwards, right? The pro shop afterwards, they're going to charge you $150 for the polo right there. So people will pay for country club logos that are, desirable ones that are out in the world. So it's not good advice to tell people don't pick up golf polos when they have logos on them. There's a little bit more nuance to it. You want to look up what is that logo and see what they're going for. So good job, Josh. I like it. Anyone else's YouTube just flooded with Claude AI lately? I don't think so. But I just watch the people that I watch, the people that I'm subscribed to. I don't really kind of scroll and watch, this, every Tom, Dick, and Larry on there. So maybe my viewing style is maybe different than yours. I'm not sure. Do you have any plans to put out a men's suit blazer tutorial video? I find that incredibly helpful. Chris, I have one on YouTube. You're on YouTube. So if you scroll back, I think I dropped that video in January. You'll find it's a 25-minute walkthrough, literally from thrift to shipped. I take you through a blazer through its full life cycle. So you might want to check out that video on YouTube. I think I dropped it back in January. It's called reselling blazers. You'll see it. Off, I set it to match. Gotcha. Yeah, not a fan. Gotcha. I mean, for me, it doesn't make sense because I promote on eBay. So my Poshmark and eBay fees are generally about the same. So to have Poshmark priced higher, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because anyway. What's up? And for me, the market value for most items is pretty similar from eBay to Posh. So just pricing it up because my fees are higher doesn't really make sense to me. I want to price the item based on the market and how much money I think I can get for that item. So for me, turning on a feature, it's just arbitrarily raising my price because of fees doesn't really make sense. The consumers don't think that way. Consumers are looking at the market value of the item, and that's what they're willing to pay. You know what I mean? What's up, Salt? Do you use AI in your listings? Use AI for all my listing. And Candy, you're on YouTube. You can go back. I dropped a video last May, and it's using AI to list on eBay. That's exactly how I list to this day. So all I do is I take the photos and I drop the photos into Nifty, and Nifty writes the item title and writes the item description for me. I make a couple changes, I set the price, and boom, it pushes it out to all the 4 platforms that I list on. That's still how I list to this day. So I did a full step-by-step walkthrough of how I listed. I think I did 3 different items. I did a pair, a shirt, a pair of jeans, and I think I did a blazer on that one too. And I just showed you kind of my process step-by-step. My process is about the same as it was back then. It's maybe a couple little tweaks just because Nifty has gotten better and they've enhanced some things along the way and added whatnot. And But ultimately, it's my same workflow is in that video. And I think that was posted last May. You'll see it. Had a slow weekend, thinking summer slow down time, but today I'm over 300 already for the day. Let's go. I like that. Yeah, and I think for me, what happens with summer slowdown, it's not like every day is all of a sudden slow. That's not what summer slowdown is. For me, it becomes a roller coaster. So one day will be 13 sales. The next day will be 6. The next day will be 16 sales. The next will be 9. It becomes like this turbulent roller coaster. A couple slow days, couple busy days. And then in the end, you average it all out and you're like, yeah, I'm down about 15% on the month from last month. Now that's not true for me in June. I'm on pace to be up 10% over May. I've already actually beat May's sales numbers. So June's been very good, but I expect things to sort of soften at these last couple of days of the month. Vacation week, we're looking at this week and next week being the number 2 and number 3 most common vacation weeks in the country. Number 1 is Christmas. That's when basically everyone takes Christmas off. But the 4th of July being on the Saturday means that we're spreading out to, the 2 weeks of vacation. So Nicole, my USPS driver, she said yes. She's like, so many people are on holds. So their mail isn't, they're on mail holds. So she's not delivering the mail to them this week. They're holding it at the post office. She's like, so many customers on this route are on that hold right now. So that goes to show you right there. How do you turn it off? I would literally just type, I don't remember how I did it. I would just type that into auto piece of scrap. Just say, how do I turn off that auto pricing tool? And auto will probably give you, step-by-step instructions how to do it. You know what I mean when I say auto, right? The little ask auto thing in the left corner. Just click that on the left-hand side of your screen in Nifty. Just tap that, ask it its question. I bet you it'll give you step-by-step instructions. It'll be better than mine. Slow sales did give me time to rearrange the reseller's room and make room for another set of shelves. $750 to $1,000 profit per month once full. Growing. I like that. Rob, you're cranking, and I like that you're investing some time into organization and stuff. Super smart. Sold the Brooks Brothers Super 110 suit in less than 24 hours from the rack to mailbox. I love that. Would have never been looking at suits before your channel. How much did you get for that suit? Awesome, quick sale. Nice job on that one. So all you do is take the photo, drop it into Nifty. Nifty writes the item title in the description. I used a background remover tool in Nifty for my cover photo, not the all photos, just the cover photo. I set the price. I make a couple tweaks if necessary to the item title in the description, and boom, I blast it out. But again, that literally the full step-by-step process. I literally walk you through exactly how I do it in that YouTube video, step by step. Can you touch on eBay returns such as buyer paid versus seller paid 40, 30, 60-day policy and pros and cons? We don't accept returns and just got our first. Cool. I probably won't get into the full nitty gritty of this because there's a lot to unpack. But I'll tell you what we do, Salty. We do free returns and for any reason. Free returns, 30 days, any reason. Something I used to do that I've stopped doing is I used to have 1-day handling time too. So if you're a top rated seller, which means you have good seller metrics over a period of time. So you're a top rated seller on eBay and you do 2 things. You have 1-day handling time and free returns. That means you get 10% off your final value fees for any listing that is 1-day handling time and free returns. So I did that for years because about 2.5% of my sales end up in returns. But I'm getting 10% off my final value fees. So that would basically, even though I'm paying to have the item returned from me, I would save more in fees every month from that 10% off of final value fees savings. That it would, me paying for the return shipping didn't matter because I got more money from the discount. Does that make sense? Now I've since stopped doing that because I do all this travel to thrift stuff. I can't ship every day all the time. So when I'm gone for a couple of days, right, I change it to 2-day handling time, but I still have free returns because remember we're competing for people's business, right? So if you have the same item as I have listed, mine's free returns and yours is no returns. If the buyer notices that and we're similar price, similar listing quality and all that stuff, good photos for both of us, whatever, mine's free returns, they're probably going to order from me over you, and that's just the reality of things. And for me, it's I have 1,400 plus listings. So every day I don't want people deciding between me and you and choosing you. So I'm looking for any different way that I can get an advantage over somebody else, right? So it's like a whole list, laundry list, great photos, great keywords, measurements in the listings, free returns, pricing aggressively, promoting. I'm looking for any way, and I have my whole system is based on, I want to win those win-loss things between you and I, because we're going to have similar items. Most of what I sell are very common items that other people have the exact same thing available on eBay. So I want to win every one of those win-loss sort of things that I can possibly win against you and everybody else in this chat too. One of those is having free returns turned on, because I know that every week that's getting me extra sales, and because people are comparing my item to somebody else who has the exact same item for a similar price with great photos also. So any way that I can win, I want to win. So that's how I do it. I wish I could still do that like 1 day handling time, because that's a great advantage, but I don't. So when a customer returns something to me, they automatically get a label created by eBay. It's charged to me, and the item comes back. When I refund them, I don't refund the original shipping. So if they paid $6.95 for shipping on a shirt, I don't refund that initial shipping that they paid, because they paid it. I shipped it to them. They decided that it didn't fit. It comes back. Hey, they pay for that one way. So they pay one way, I pay one way. And for me, having the free returns makes it easy. It makes it so people aren't doing items not as described to force it, because that's something that they can always force a return. So to me, I'd rather somebody wants to return it. I don't want to have to go through an item not as described case and have to pay for the shipping both ways every time, because people they know how to work the system. If there's loopholes in a system, people will find those loopholes and exploit them. Last year, July and August were super rough, but this year my listings, I have one good month out of June, July, and August. And then I have 2 bad months. And I never know what the good month is. Some years it's July is the good month. Some years it's August is a good month. Some years it's June. But this is my 8th summer in business. And I'm guessing that'll be true again, because it's been true for the last 7 summers, is that 2 months suck in the summer and 1 month is good. I just don't know which one it's going to be. Now this year, June was really, really good. It's my best month of the year so far. So I guess June is my good month, and I'm guessing that July and August are going to be not so good, but maybe this is the year that I have all 3 months be good. Part of the reason that summer can be really good for me, one thing that has saved me in past summers, is having a lot of retail arbitrage summer stuff that I picked up January on clearance. That's short sleeves, it's shorts, it's summertime stuff. And people buy that stuff really good this time of year, that new tag summer stuff. So that has saved me in past summers. It has helped me this summer for sure. Some of the stuff that we're going to ship out today was actually retail clearance, pair of shorts, retail clearance, golf polo, both new tag kind of stuff. So that's been a secret, not so secret weapon for me over the past few years, is buying stuff in January that rips in June, July, and August. Customer wants to return a pair of pants because I put actual measurements in the title specifics instead of the tag measurements. What's been your best strategy for avoiding this issue? I don't know that there's really any way to avoid a customer just being a dick. Like if somebody's not going to read and they're not going to pay attention, there's only so much that you can do. I don't think there's a perfect strategy for it. But for me, a pair of pants, if it's a 30 by 32 and it measures 30 by 28, I'll put in the title 30 by 28 parentheses, and I'll write actual 28. Then down in the item description, I'll write inseam 28 inches, and then I'll put in parentheses, I'll say tag reads 30, but actual measurement is 28 after normal wash and wear. But that's not going to be a perfect thing. I think it's good, but there's no way to avoid somebody just not reading. There's just no way around it. Some of the AI descriptions that eBay uses sound really fake. Nice. Makes sense, but 30 days is a long time. They can wear and return at your expense, but something to think about. I didn't know you can deduct original shipping. You can. And again, my returns on eBay are 2.5% of sales. So that means, I'm going to have probably 400 sales this month. So it'll probably be a little bit more than 400, but we'll use a nice round number. 400 times 0.025. So I'll get 10 returns this month out of 400 sales. And that's not even a perfect number either, because some of those sales are on Poshmark, which really don't have returns, and Mercari, which really don't have returns, and Whatnot, which really don't have returns. So that, I might not actually have 10 returns. So in the grand scheme of things, the way I see it is like, look, I run a clothing business online. If I don't do returns, I feel like I'm swimming upstream, right? Because it's just normal that people buy stuff. If it doesn't fit, they return it. So I'm in a clothing business, and I just want to behave like clothing retailers behave. And clothing retailers offer returns because they know that it gives buyer confidence, and they want buyer confidence. They don't want people to say, well, I'm not going to buy it all because I'm not sure and I can't try it on and I can't return it. So I'm just not going to buy it all. So, to me, if a company like Marshall's or JCPenney or Macy's, right, they're making those decisions that like, hey, we're going to do returns. Then maybe they know a little bit more about selling clothing and the math behind it all, and like consumer sentiment. They have, they got a lot of stores. They've been successful for a long time. I think I should probably look up to them rather than, you get my idea. Loopholes in every system. Exactly, Edward. Edward, how are you? What's up? This has been my second full year of switching to clothes and shoes. Used to sell everything. Nice. Yeah, I used to sell a little bit everything too. Clothes were probably like 50% of my game at one point, clothing and shoes, but now it's like 99% of my game. Sold the Brooks Brothers suit for $150, probably cost 13 to 14, priced as separates. Nice. Not bad, in like less than 24-hour sale right there. Gotcha. I figured. Thanks for the insight. You're welcome, Josh. Customer says I sent him wrong shirt. The pictures he sent me of the shirt is a new shirt with tags, which I never had. He's out of the 14-day return policies. Don't get the scam. He might be confusing. I've had this happen before. He might have bought something from somebody else and he thinks that that's you. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe he bought from two different eBay sellers. I've had that happen where I've actually had somebody return something from another eBay seller, and in the package it like had the little it had a little card from like a different seller, and I went and looked that person up on eBay, and it's actually a much bigger volume eBay seller than I am. And but yeah, so maybe they're just I would just sort of confirm with them like, hey, that's not mine. Did you maybe buy that from somebody else? Someone this weekend asked to return a shirt 28 days after he purchased it, claiming it doesn't fit. He has until the 18th to return it. It's a pain in the butt. It's just part of the game though. 2.5% of my sales end up in returns. I have to deal with that 10 times a month on 400 sales. So to me, like I got that return, I threw it over there. It's like, I don't even think about it. I'll crack that open later. I'll process the return. I'll get the item relisted in a matter of seconds, and I just move on with my life. It's just I'm selling shoes and clothing online. I've got to run into returns. I just, I don't look at myself as like, I'm not going to be the only retailer in the history of the world that, that doesn't get returns on clothing. It doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. Every store does it. What's up? Jack is in the house, bringing some energy. What's up, Bean Busher? Oh, Jack, you are something else. I love that term. You are something else. Next up is going, I don't know how to pronounce this name, but it's going to Richmond, Virginia. Let's ship out a shirt, or what do we got? A pair of pants. Nice quick one here. Everyone likes a quickie. This pair of Levi's 501s sold in 2 days on eBay. Quickie. So pick this up for $6 at the thrift store. We can see Levi's 501. The long inseam strikes again. 30 by 34 on this one. This fella is tall and thin. I can't pronounce his name, but he's in Richmond. He's tall and thin. $24.29. This was on a nifty best offer. So again, my cross-lister sends out that 10% off offer. Who's turning around in my driveway? Get off my lawn. It's a really dangerous place to like turn around. I don't know why people would like turn around there. It's like a steep hill and then a 90-degree curve like right there, and people are going to turn around. That's crazy. That's crazy. 501s out the door. Oh yeah, my cross-lister nifty sends out a 10% off offer. That's what I have it programmed to. You can program it to schedule out or to send out a 7% offer or a 12% offer or a 20% offer, whatever you want. But this was 10% off offer. So I think I had them listed for $26.99. So this buyer came and watched the item and then left. 10 minutes went by. They didn't buy the item full price. So Nifty sent them a 10% off offer. Boom, done deal. I didn't have to do anything. They accepted the offer, out the door. Here's the thing. You might have a pair of Levi's 501 30 by 34 too. And this person whose name I can't pronounce might have gone and watched your item too, but you didn't notice that you had a watcher on that item for like 3 hours. And then you're like, oh crap, I got a watcher. I'm going to send him an offer for 10% off. Well, guess what? This guy who I can't pronounce his name in Richmond already bought it from me because my cross-lister did it 10 minutes after that actual thing. We're competing against each other for the same business. This is a competitive world. If you're selling clothing on eBay and Poshmark for a living, there's chances are that there's 10, if not 100 people who have the same exact thing, Levi's 501 30 by 34 in their store. Any way you can get a leg up on competition is so important when you're talking about very, very competitive market. So I like winning those battles. Sorry if you got a pair of Levi's 501 30 by 34 listed. I scooped you on the sale. 2 days out the door on that one. Oh no, did they change the sold listing green numbers to text sold above the listing? Oh no. What? Oh no, did they change the sold listing green numbers to text sold above listing? I'm not sure. I don't know. Listening to you, K-Way and Surfs has changed my attitude on returns. It doesn't affect me anymore. There you go. It's just part of the business. You can't take only the good and not the bad. You have to take the whole package. There's no being a clothing retailer and just getting the good stuff and not getting the bad stuff. Same thing with like items that sit around for a little while, right? You got to clearance them out. Every business that sells clothing in the world clearances stuff out that doesn't sell, right? Well, we thought it was a good buy. We sold all the larges and the mediums, but for some reason the extra larges didn't sell. We're going to have to clearance them out. We got to get rid of them. Every business in the world does this. And it might be something that they order again the next year, but they're just honest about it. They're just sort of matter of fact about it. No matter how good our buyer is, we're just going to have certain things that are just sort of left behind that don't make any sense. And we're going to have to clearance them out and get them gone. So that's another thing. Like, you can't be any different than every other, like every retailer that sells clothing in the world has to clearance stuff out and they have to accept returns. So like, it's for me to expect that my business is going to be any different is kind of crazy, I think. My real issue with returns is whenever I get them, eBay halts my sales. Once the return is received and refund, it goes back to normal. Not sure why this happens. I've heard people say that to me 1,000 times before, and I've never experienced that ever. I mean, it's just never, I'm not saying that you're not experiencing that, but what you might be experiencing is like, you might think that that's happening, but it could be other things that are sort of resulting in that. There's just, yeah, I mean, I have returns every week, but my sales are good. So, I don't know. People have said that to me a billion times before, but I think it's correlation, not causation, if that makes sense. Probably 1,000 of those Levi's. Yeah, you're probably right. I rarely get returns. Jack, that's because you're so good. You're so good. Just popping in now. How's selling? Selling's great, man. How are you? Is it AU Aribe? Or AU? I'm not sure, but welcome in. It's good to have you. Things are going well. We're shipping out orders from the weekend and we're hanging out with Jack. I had to cancel some time ago. Weeks later, I get a raving review. My best seller ever, Ted Craps. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. That's funny. Got lucky there in order. Yeah, I'm with you. If it's real quick, I want to. I like it. I like it. Jack, I know where you're going with that. I know where you're going. All right. Pair of Lacoste fleece shorts. Picked this up retail clearance like, I think a year ago. Sold a couple of them quick, and then they just stopped selling altogether. Didn't sell any for a while. So lowered the price a little bit, took an offer for $30 to get this one out the door. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I have 2 of those left. I started with 6. So I sold the first 3 quick, then they sat around forever. Had to lower the price. Retail is weird sometimes, but you got to let your own inventory sort of teach you. And if it's just not selling at the price that it's at, got to change the price. Got these out the door, $30 on an offer. $85 pair of Lacoste like fleece shorts with the crocodile on them. I got 2 left, so I'd like to get those out the door too. And I'm looking over there. I do have some inventory. Most of it's out in the garage, but I do have some inventory in the office on a couple of shelves here, and those are right over there. That's why I'm like looking over my shoulder. After watching you, I've been interested in suits. I found 100% cashmere Todd Snyder suit in 4 identical Lauren Ralph Lauren suits with tags. $5.95 different size. Nice finds. Really nice finds. That Todd Snyder, cashmere Todd Snyder, that's a banger right there. That's a crazy find. What's the comps look like on that one? That's got to be that's got to be a wild piece right there. You got to tell me like what the comps are. Got to get sales to have returns. That's true. That's very true. They can't return it if they don't buy it. I can't move a cost maybe on price too high. Maybe. Look at the market. Look at the sell-through rate. If the sell-through rate is like lower than 50% and your item is priced at the average or above, right? So like think about it this way, like 50th percentile price would be the average price. So say the average price for a piece is $25, the 50th percentile, that's the average. But if the sell-through rate is less than 50%, if you're priced at the average or above, you're probably not going to get a sale anytime soon. So if the say the sell-through rate's like 30%, I wouldn't price at the average sale price or above. I would price below it, like something like the 40th percentile, the 35th percentile, right? Because the sell-through rate isn't going to support it. Now, if you have 100% sell-through rate item and the average sale price is $25, you can price above that average, price it at 28 and you might get a sale. You price it at 30, you might get a sale because you got a high sell-through rate item. But, so I'm always thinking when I'm looking at sell-through rate and I'm looking at comps, that's what my brain is doing, right? If it's below 50%, I got to be below the average sale price. If it's above 50%, then I can probably get, the average sale price or maybe even a little bit higher. So those things are really important. Now, there's some nuance to that. Of course, the quality of your photos. Are you promoting and showing up higher in search results? Are you cross-listing onto multiple platforms? Do you have automation tools to help you show up higher in search results too? Those things matter as well. But just broad brushstrokes, right? Low sell-through rate. If you price above the average price or at, you probably got to wait a while for a sale. What's up, hip flipping mama? How you doing? How's your health? What's the update? What's the latest? She's the hippest, the flippest. It's Kelly. Had down wide sale this weekend. Range most of the day Friday. Ended up doing pretty well. Oh, a town-wide sale. I'll get you. Made over 400. Her sister 200-ish. Lots of dollar items. I like it. Get it moving. I like it. Todd Snyder, the singer-songwriter. I don't think that's that. Is that same person? No, it's like a fashion. Todd Snyder is a fashion designer, I believe. But maybe he sings too. I don't know. Found 2 Y2K Coogee jeans Friday, $5 each with some sick patterns on the bum. Nice, Salt. Good find. Good find. Here's a really boring item that sold quickly, I think. Look at this. Just a boring pair of wool trousers from LL Bean. Just a total snoozer. You are not going to get viral on the interwebs on social media with this piece. But it's sold in 7 days for full asking price at $38.99. That's a great flip. I paid $5, sold it in 7 days for $38.99. So 100% wool, LL Bean pair of pants. Just a really good, consistent seller. You're never going to see a viral video about these. Nobody's going to get hyped. But it's an awesome freaking sale. So my profit on this after fees and shipping is going. So eBay's going to pay me out $30.92. That's after they take their cut and after I paid for my shipping label. They pay me $30.92. I paid $5. So I'm going to make $26 off this sale right here. That's awesome. And it took 7 days to get out of there. This is how you build a business on stuff like that. That is just a great sale. But you'll hear people say, I pass on all LL Bean. Well, thank you very much. Leave it right behind. 100% wool LL Bean. You better slow down and look up that item. Boring. I don't care if it's boring. I'm going to I got $25 from this. A couple more sales, I can go buy me a really nice bottle of bourbon. I'll take the boring sales all day. I don't want to hear it. I don't want Kim to hear me talk about buying more bourbon. I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble. This is going to Kent in Overland Park, Kansas. Thank you, Kent. Boring. I just sold a purple label blazer right now. Let's go. How much did you get for that? Holy crap. I have to have open heart surgery? My gracious. Kelly, when's that happening? When's that happening? No date for surgery yet. Gotcha. That answers my question. We'll send them positive vibes your way. And I'm guessing that you got a really good doctor, a really good surgeon. You're in good hands, good care. And they're going to take good care of you. And you're going to be back on your feet in no time. I just know it. Because he just passed not long ago. Gotcha. Wool in summer. Where does this idea, piece of scrap, I'm calling you out. Where does this idea of wool not being good in the summer come from? Wool is like a naturally moisture-wicking fiber. It's great in the summer. My favorite thing to wear in the summer is merino wool, like base layer pieces. I was wearing one yesterday for our walk. It was like a hot, humid day. I wore my merino wool, like base layer shirt. One of my favorite things to wear in this. Wool is great in the summer. What are you talking about? Where does this? I've heard people say this before. Like wool in the summer is awful. Who are you people? Where does this come from? Who made that up? Wool is great in the summertime. Newer tags are going for $89.99. So I got them this morning. I've got to do some research. Nice. I just called you out, put you on the spot. I want to know how much that's worth. Summer sells a lot of winter item. People would be surprised. This ain't a winter item. Why would a wool pair of pants be a winter item? Who are these people in my chat? Who are these people? Desert, piece of scrap. Why are you calling wool wintertime stuff? Boring stocks is what made Peter Lynch one of the best investors of all time. I like it, Josh. Birth defect took 58 years to surface. Well, I'd say you've done pretty good for 58 years. Hopefully they take, I know they're going to take good care of you, and you got 58 more years left in you, Kelly. Love when I hear a reseller say, I don't care if shoes are 100 and I get them for $5. I won't sell shoes. Well, you're a dumbass, sir. Reselling is about making money. I agree. It's like the vintage bros, who just, they'll be like, hey, I found this, Polo Ralph Lauren, and I think you'd want it. I'm not going to sell it. I'm like, well, why won't you sell it? They're like, I just sell vintage stuff. But I'm like, well, you list it online, don't you? They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, why do you just have to do vintage stuff? I just don't understand that. Make money. Wow, good luck. Thank you for sending. Kelly's the best. She's the freaking best. So thanks for sending some positive vibes, Jack. Did not know that. Very educational. Who are these people with anti-wool? It is a great summertime fabric. I have a major hernia repair, actually. 3? Ugh, gosh, that's no fun. That is no fun. Well, sending positive vibes your way. That's not a fun thing at all. Get it done. Get it taken care of. I'm wearing wool socks with a wool blanket over my shoulders while work from home in the AC. Wool is year round for me. I'm wearing wool socks right now. In fact, I don't own anything other than wool socks. Every single pair. I got rid of anything that's like cotton socks. Everything is wool. I've been that way for years. That's like the one bougie thing about me, is that I only wear wool socks, and I'll spend good money on socks. Of course, I find them on clearance, but I only wear nice socks. Like these ones are Smart Wool. No, these are Darn Tough. So Darn Tough and Smart Wool. I'll also wear Icebreaker ones too, whatever's on sale. I could use a couple new pairs, actually. Just started wearing wool socks in my work boots. Have no complaints. They are great. They're the best. Wool socks are the only socks. Nothing else wrong with my heart. It's just very tired. Doc said I lead a healthy life. Nice. He's got to take good care of you. I know it. Sold for $650. Bought it from K-Way. Nice. How much did you? Wait, I gotta track this back. Hold on. I gotta connect this conversation. I have a memory of a newt. Let's see here. Oh, the purple label blazer. How much did you pay for it on one of his? Did you grab it on one of his whatnots? Sold it for $650. Let's go. The thought of wearing wool right now. My tiny apartment is so hot and stuffy during the summer. Who are these anti-wool people? These people exist? What? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Jack. People automatically think itchy wool sweaters. I guess, but this isn't the 1970s anymore. You need to have a valve replaced. Gotcha. It's just like a car. You just need a little tune-up. Get the valve replaced, change the oil, and you'll be back ready to go, Kelly. I am bougie. Bougie socks. I hate wool with a passion. Who are these people? I'm going to have to consider making some rules for this live. This anti-wool talk, I'm going to have to think about. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to have to meditate on this and think about. So I have to put in a new rule here. But I'll sell the crap out of it. I'm allergic to wool, so can't sell it. I guess that's allowed. Your allergy is, I guess I get that. Used your code for Nifty and a cross listing on Depop and Posh, already producing results. Let's go, Phillips. Make some money. I wouldn't recommend it, and I wouldn't recommend it wholeheartedly if I didn't think it was going to help you save time, B, make more money. And ideally both, right? I wish I had like 100 products I could recommend to you that would make you money and save you time at the same time. Nifty's awesome. Enjoy it. Bought for $200, $300 profit. And you didn't even have to leave your house, right? It just showed up at your front door. The sourcing on Whatnot, I like it. Especially you're buying from somebody that you trust on Whatnot, I think is really a key in finding trusted sellers, because not every actor out there is a good actor, but you obviously found a good one. I'm actually allergic to silk, and wool irritates me a bit. I just wear gloves and I'm able to handle it to sell it. Man, silk and wool, that stinks. No politics, religions, or bad wool talk. Exactly. These are rules. I'm gonna think on this. I'm gonna have to meditate on this a little bit. This anti-wool stuff, bad wool. I don't know. Wool socks make my feet stink. Something. Who are these people? Who are you people? It doesn't even make sense. So what your argument is that cotton doesn't? Wool wicks so much better than cotton does. It doesn't even make sense. Where do you guys come up with this stuff? I think they're relating to thick, itchy winter sweat. Yeah, this isn't the 1970s anymore. Like wool, like modern wool is good. You guys are buying the wrong wool. You're not buying smart wool. You're not buying Icebreaker. You're not buying Darn Tough. You're not buying what's that other wool brand that I really like? I can't think of it. I don't know why I'm looking over there. I'm not going to see one. And wool, add wool elitist to channel description. Elitist doesn't make sense. No. Wool for everybody is what I'm for. I am for wool for everyone, not just for the elites. Wool for everybody. Cotton doesn't, I swear. No, you people. No. You people you're confused. Make wool great again. There we go. We're walking a thin line with that, though. We got to be careful. You're getting us into some dangerous territory there at Resell. We're kind of right on the line there. I sold a Xenia wool sweater that was plain blue for $59 in like 3 days. Those Xenia wool like polos and like the polo sweaters and the silk ones too. Like those are great sellers. I love selling those. Speaking of rules, I actually hate rules. I think we need a garage sale do's and don'ts booklet. People are so stupid. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree 100% with that. I just saw the women's smart wool tee in 2 days. It sells year round. This is a great time to sell because a smart wool tee like that, somebody's going to wear that to hike in. It is awesome for the summertime. It is awesome. Yes, year round, Michelle. Yeah, you see what I'm saying. Next order is going out the door too. So anyway, those LL Bean wool pants, I made $25 on it. Wool is for the summertime too. We got a lot of orders to get out because we have just been doing more talking than working. It sounds like a typical Monday around here lately. Joseph A. Bank, boring sale right here. Like a textured blue, but like solid textured blue. Joseph A. Bank Traveler, nothing fancy right here. Picked this up in January for $7. It hadn't sold yet, so I lowered the price. I had it listed at $42.99. I lowered it to $38.98, just brought it down for $4. And it sold like a week later after I lowered the price. So full asking price, $38.98. I paid $7 for it. With a better pattern, this would have sold faster, but it's just kind of like a boringish blue. But yeah, love selling Joseph A. Bank. I think, let's see how many Joseph A. Bank pieces I have sold in 2026 so far. This is number 46 out the door. Boring brand. Everybody says I pass on all Joseph A. Banks no matter what. And that just tells me when people say stuff like that, like you just don't know the brand. You just don't know the brand. You got to pick up certain. I pass on most Joseph A. Banks. Well, there's some really good sellers out there, and I've sold 46 of them already this year. So I think we can get 100 done this year. Let's see if we can get 100. That would be great. 100 banks. $38.98 on this one. I paid $7. Got to be similar profit to that last. This is wool, by the way, too. I just want to. It's 100% wool. Selling in the summertime for you anti-wool people. So after shipping and fees, eBay is going to pay me out $32.04, and my buy cost was $27. So I'm going to make $25 profit. Did I put my thank you card in here? I did. So I'm going to make $25 profit on this one. So back-to-back $25 profit wool items in the summer for you wool haters. That's $50 right there. I almost have enough money to go buy a nice bottle of bourbon thanks to my summertime wool sales right here. Just on these two, back-to-back. Do I have more? I have more summertime wool going out the door for you haters. Wool is for the summer. Wool is for everyone. That's our new campaign. I love finding wood. Just got to wear gloves and don't wear it. I feel you. But no more negative woolly bully. No more negative wool talk. For sure, I hiked the Negev Desert in the summer in wool socks. Of course you did. If you had cotton socks on doing that hike in the summertime, you'd blister your entire feet off. Your ankles to your toes would just be blistered and they'd fall off, and then you'd be stuck in the desert. Of course you wore wool socks. That's the best. They're the best. I keep getting thrown off by the poly bags and your QR code. All this looks new in the bag. I've got people that have actually left feedback on eBay like dozens of times before. Well, they'll actually say like bought a used item and the item was actually brand new with tags. Great seller, it's not brand new. It just came in the fancy bag, but it was in really good condition. But obviously, I'm not doing that to to confuse people. Just trying to give a nice buyer experience, right? But I've had probably a dozen or so people say that over the years, in their feedback. I'm like, no, that wasn't new, but thanks. You could be the Seinfeld soup.c of wool. You don't like wool? No live streaming for you. Exactly. 2 weeks. That's what we're gonna have to. I'm gonna think about this. I'm gonna have to meditate on this. I don't want to come to rash decisions right here. But I actually really like that idea, and I'm going to think about it. No streaming for you. 2 weeks. I like it. No wool for you. What's up, Rabicia? Welcome in. Good to have you. Always a pleasure to have you. Hey, Chris. Hope you had a great day. Well, hey, Polka Kingpin. What's up? I'm finally trying the Blazer game. Didn't start off well. 2 of the 4 I bought last night had flaws when I went to measure them. Bummer. Yeah, I got real attention to detail on those. Really, really, really important. Need to do a better job of checking the store. Yeah, and you'll never be perfect. You'll never be perfect, but you can. I think you can do better than 2 out of 4. Yeah, for sure. It's going to happen. But you know what? Mistakes are the best teacher. So you just ran into 2 of them, and you won't forget that. I know the next time you'll be in a store, you're going to be super focused. And you kind of learn where the flaws commonly are once you run into a whole bunch of the flaws on suit coats, and you kind of you can quickly go to those spots where they're commonly are the flaws. So that'll come with some time and some practice, and you'll be just fine. So much money in the Blazer game. I've had buyer comment how she appreciates the double protection because I also use poly bags for my clothing sales. I like it, Michelle. And I'm glad that your feet are fine after your hike. Suits and blazers tend to have a lot of flaws that can be hard to find at first. They're actually common areas that you really learn about. Yep, we're on the same page. Desert rain, even with your anti-wool talk. I'm going to remember that. Next up, a cotton shirt right here. Polo Ralph Lauren. This is kind of a leftover. I had a whole bunch of these, brand new with tags. Had one left in this color and this size, men's size medium. So just a classic Polo Ralph Lauren with the pony on the chest. This one has the flesh pony. This one took a while to sell, even though the other one sold a long time ago. Took a best offer of $51 on these. I typically list these for $58.99 in that range, and accept offers. This one actually was listed at $58.99. Got the $51 offer. I've had it for a little while. Get it gone. This is going to Charlotte, North Carolina. Not going far. 2 hours down the road to the big city. Thanks. That's what I had to do with pants. Took me a bit to know where to check. Yep. You'll get the hang of it, and before you know it, you'll be cranking out money on blazers. I like it. All right. Next up is an order for Robert. New brand alert for me. I never bought or sold this brand before. First time find. It is called the Charleston shirt from Ben Silver. Ben Silver, the Charleston shirt. This one's pure linen, men's size large. Nice kind of just solid linen. What is this one? Long sleeve shirt right here. $33.99, full asking price on this bad Larry. New brand for me. Screenshot it. Screenshot it. Okay, you're out of town. Nice sale right here. How long did this take to sell? 37 days to sell. Full asking price, $33.99. Paid $5 at a thrift. Now, obviously, when I see linen at a thrift store, I'm going to take a second look at that item. And I'm glad I did it this one. I suggest you do that with every single piece that you find that's linen, that's cashmere, that's wool, that's silk. Even if you never heard of the brand before, it's definitely worth looking up those. So nice sale here. 5 into $33.99. And let's see what my actual profit after fees and shipping will be on this one. So so after shipping and fees, eBay's going to pay me out $24.95. I paid $5, so $20 profit on this one. Not bad. 37 days to sell. New brand. Free the sheep. Get salt. I'm going to come back with some rules. Don't force me into a corner here. Not anti-wool, really, just very heat sensitive, and wool makes my hands burn for quite a while. I thought we talked about this, that we're not going to have any of this negative wool stuff. Koki pokey. Okay, I just did it. Thanks for the person that also chimed in and told me to just do it. Nice. I just paid for Nifty and moved on from the free trial. Used Peak, and I appreciate the guidance. Nice. You get your 15% off auto too. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. I'm glad, Koki Pokey. Make sure you circle back in a couple weeks and let us know how it's going. I'm glad that you made that investment in your business. You're going to get some time back, and you're going to have more sales, and those are both very good things. Adriano Goldschmied got me on 26 hemmed inseams, more than I care to admit. It happens. They'll sell. It'll just take a little while, probably. Takes picture of tag. Yep, there you go. I had to step away $1 at my Goodwill. Nice. I like $1 days. We don't have that around here. Being a newbie, starting right at summer slowdown and buying up winter and fall items. No one is ever in those sections right now. Lots of goodies. And honestly, I mean, that's like very, very like that. That's like veteran sort of approach to the thrift store is buying out of season, particularly right now, because we're like 2 days away from July. And things are really going to start slowing down. You know, people have bought most of their spring and summer stuff. And as we move through the rest of the summer, through July and into August, we're going to see sales of those items start to taper off. A lot of the retailers are going to do their clearance, like their summer clearance, usually the last week of July and the first week of August, right? Because, and the reason, think about it, we should learn from retailers who sell a lot more clothing than us and have been doing it for many more years than us. If they're doing their clearance then, it's because they know that if they don't get it gone in July and August, they're probably not going to get it gone. So they want to get it gone then, and they're going to clearance everything out. So I think, as resellers, we should be thinking about what those big following what those big retailers are doing, because we're clothing retailers too. We just may not think we are. So buying right all those stores, once you get to August, like they're going to start moving in all that winter, fall and winter stuff, fall first, winter second, right? They want space for that stuff, and they want to put that in the prime real estate because that's what people start to buy. So you're buying that stuff now, and you're going to be listening. It's going to sell like crazy in September and October, and some of it's going to sell in August too. So really smart that you're buying that stuff up when nobody else is buying that stuff, and they should. If you're a reseller and you're not buying up fall and winter items right now, you're missing out, because that stuff's going to sell sooner than you think. People buy things for the season that's coming. So winter, fall stuff sells really great in September, October. Winter stuff really picks up in October. They're not waiting to January to buy those winter coats and stuff. They're buying them at the beginning of the season or before the season. So I think you say you're a newbie, but you're way ahead if that's what you're doing right now, especially if you can grab it on $1 day, which is freaking awesome. Under Armour, who dis? I love these Under Armour polos, man. They're so comfy. and I can find them at thrift stores like crazy. Yeah, it's peak. Wrangler endorsements, check. Wrangler endorsement, check bounce surfs. I don't know what that means. People at my Goodwill are in every section always, but less are wanting coats right now at least. The coat section at one of the thrift stores locally is just super like packed right now. And I don't go through it a lot because at this point, these are like coats that have been there. They've been sitting there for months and months and months for the most part. But every now and again, I can like rifle one off that rack, but they'll just let them rot until they don't like destock that section and put fresh stuff in there too often, especially off season right now. But if you can, if they're stocking coats in your thrift store, go get them because they're going to sell sooner than you think. People at my Goodwill are in every. Oh, I already read that. I'm just reading it twice. Haha, Nick. Haven't found a comp on eBay. Only new suit AI says list $499 to $599, likely sale $350 to $500. Fairly new at this February. What is your suggestion? I think that sounds good. I mean, without comping it, I can't really give better advice than what you have right there. So I'll just, when I don't know the answer, I'm honest about it. I'd say your answer sounds as good as my answer. So if there's no comps, then it's just a guess. So yeah, it's a dartboard. So throw the dart. I like it. Make you some money. If it doesn't sell at that price, just lower the price in 30 days and see what happens. But that's a really good find. I'm excited for that find for you. Really, really cool piece. If I find something that cool this week, it'll be a good week. I doubt I will, but I'll keep positive about it. All right. Last brand was a brand new brand for me. This one's one I've just been selling over and over. It wouldn't be a Chris at Peak Monday live without a Bad Birdie golf polo going out the door. Brand new with tags, retail $78. This one sold on a nifty best offer, $25.19 on this. These have just been rolling out the door. I got to see how many of these I have left. Let's check. I've sold 57 of them. And I have 53 left. So I'm past the midpoint on these. I picked these all up in retail clearance back in January, and they've just been selling off. So what did I say? I sold 57 of them? 57 sold. So how many weeks have been in this year so far? Well, I bought them at the end of January. So February, March, April, May. February, March, April, May, June. So 20. So it's probably been like 21 weeks since I got these listed. And I've sold 57. So I'm basically selling like 2.5 of them a week. And probably it's probably been higher than that over the last like couple months. The first few months probably weren't selling them in February like at that rate, but it's probably more like 3.5 a week right now. So not bad. Haven't found a combo. Oh, I already read that one. Awesome. Paid $14 with my senior discount. That's awesome. It's freaking awesome. So you can price it lower too, just to try to get a quicker sale too. But with an item like that, if you have no competition, I'd probably list high and see what happens. Do you have any videos on retail arbitrage? It's not like you have like a lot of money invested, like tied up in the item, right? $14. Like you can use that as a lottery ticket for a really big sale, right? Do you have any videos on retail arbitrage or any insights on the topic? I don't think I have any videos on retail arbitrage. I generally don't talk too much about it except for when I sell the items, because it would be self-defeatist for me to put out retail arbitrage content, because you could go to the same stores that I went to anywhere in the country and buy up the same stuff and price it all, price under me at $1, right? And now I have hundreds of items that are just, because when I do retail arbitrage, like buying, like that one shirt, I have like, I probably had like, of that style shirt, I probably had 35 of them in like 4 different sizes. So that hurts if you go buy that same item and now I got 35 of those and I paid $10 a piece. I got $350 tied up into that stuff, and somebody's going to undercut my price by $1. Then I have to undercut them. And then, it's a race to the bottom. And then I got to wait, I got to wait you out until you sell all that stuff out. So it's strategic that I don't share a lot of retail arbitrage. I love sharing everything. I think I'm pretty darn transparent on here, but there's certain things just like, well, I mean, I can't, if helping you hurts me, I think a lot of people don't understand, like, well, I'm running a business over here. And that would literally, in that scenario, it would be like, help Philip, hurt Chris. And that doesn't make a lot of sense. But I like win-win, help Philip. And that feels good for me because I help Philip and it doesn't hurt me. And that anything like thrift related or garage sale related, right? It's, you can't, it's not like you can scoop me in that same way, right? I hope you understand. I think you understand. When is the best time to arbitrage golf polos? You're probably, the best time would be to get them like in March, right? Because that's when golf polos really take off. Problem is, you're probably not going to find a lot of golf polos on sale in March because the retailers want to sell them, right? So you're probably going to find them at the end of the season. So you'll probably end up finding those sorts of things on clearance in July and August. Which is not the best time to find them because you're end of the season and most of the people, have already bought their golf polos. You can still sell them in August, September, in October to some degree, but they slow down a lot, right? So, the best time in theory would be March. Problem is you're probably not going to find them. You're probably going to find them in July and August. OA is great. I went full-time into that, and eBay and flips is part-time for me. I like it. Yeah. It's so much easier. Like I said, like I probably had 36 of that shirt, that same exact color, in 5 different sizes. So I make 5 listings, small, medium, large, extra large, make those 5 listings, measure 5 times, small, medium, large, extra large, and 36 items in inventory. It's a great way to, great dollars per hour. I like it. How do you track your listings to mark them down? How do you track your listings to mark them down? I look at 10 oldest most every day. I don't really have like a good system for that, to be honest with you. Like every now and again, I'll just go in and, and look at items that should be lowered because the market has changed or they've been around a long time and I mark them down. I don't have a great system. It's not something I do very well. That's actually like one of the weaknesses in my store, if I'm being honest with you. So I can't tell you, your way is probably better than my way, to be honest with you. And I don't proclaim to be great at everything. I'm good at some things. I'm great at some things, and I really suck at some stuff too. And other things I'm mediocre at. And that's one thing that I'm probably suck at, to be honest with you. But one thing I'm really good at, I'm great at, Surfs is still here. Great at selling Columbia. I've got another pair of Columbia PFG. This is a pair of hiking pants. They're not convertible. The convertible hiking pants do a little bit better for me, but sold these $17.99. Not getting rich, but Columbia, thousands of these are being sold every single month out there. A lot of supply out there too, but people buy Columbia. They know the brand. They like the brand. For some people, and I had people, I'm trying to remember who used to say this. What is her name? Stacy. I forget her TikTok screen name, but she would always say, listen, Columbia might be the most expensive brand that most people have ever worn. They look at Columbia as like high end. It's a good seller. If you pick the right Columbia, like from a lot of brands, you'll never go hungry in your life. If you can figure out Columbia, Levi's, Wrangler, Joseph A. Banks, these really common brands, which are high end to a lot of people, more people than not, right? But if you can learn those brands, the right items to pick, and you have a great sales strategy, you'll never go hungry. $17.99. I paid $5 for these Columbia PFG fishing pants, hiking pants, and they are out the door. These are going to Albert in Spring Hill, Tennessee. The convertible ones are a better seller, and I pick them up both men's and women's. I actually just listed a women's pair the other day. I listed 133 items last week, which is a lot for me. I just hunkered down. I didn't travel to thrift. I thrifted a little bit locally, and I just got stuff listed. I don't know where Spring Hill, Tennessee is. Keep in mind that those of us who live in Miami wear golf shirts and summer attire all year long. Yes, it's very true, Pamela, and you're not wrong. But the sales data agrees with my point that those things don't sell as much once we get out of, really, they're going to sell best March through June, really, like through the end of June. That's when those items are going to sell the best. They'll sell pretty good in July, but every month as we move forward, sales for those items slow down because, yeah, you wear them in Miami, great, but they're not wearing them in Maine. They're not wearing them in Minnesota, right? So when we're buying, as resellers, right, we need to know that. It is helpful to know that, yes, people in Miami are still buying those in the winter, but that's a subset, right? We're selling, like, you think these macro trends are really important for businesses. You're not wrong, but just saying. What's up, Surfy? All right. This is a bad buy. It's a carbon cobalt. The brand isn't necessarily bad, but it is a short sleeve polo style shirt. It does kind of have like a cool like raglan sleeve, and it's got like that contrast collar and stuff. It's a bad buy because it had a stain on it and I didn't notice it. So listed it. It sat around I priced it low. It sat around for a couple of years. I priced it lower. I priced it lower again. I got an offer for $6 this morning. I took it. See you later. See you later. So losing money on this one at the end of the day, but it's gone. And we're all going to make mistakes, especially me. This is going to I can't even say that name. It's going to Newport News, Virginia. All right. We got Poshmark orders to do now. We also got some chris@peak.com orders, which I'll probably smash out right now. Good weekend for coffee, y'all. Thanks to everyone who picked up some coffee from me for the weekend. So we're gonna rip through some coffee orders. We do have some really good Poshmark sales going out the door, including a couple of really nice bundles. We'll get to those in a minute. I want to ship out these coffee orders and say thanks to the folks who supported me. So first up, did I see Brian in the chat earlier? I think Brian's here. So Brian, we got him hooked a few months ago, and now he buys a bag every couple of weeks. So thank you, Brian. Brian got himself a bag of the Hooper's Creek medium roast, ground. All our coffee is available whole bean or ground. Brian gets ground. This is our best seller, the Hooper's Creek medium roast. It's our OG coffee. It's the coffee that we launched this business with just over 3 years ago. And we have since grown to adding also a dark roast and a seasonal light roast. But we got Brian hooked on the medium roast, which is our best seller. It's Kim and I's favorite coffee in the whole world. If you want to get yourself some coffee while we're here live, I ship out all the orders while I'm on the live with a big dose of gratitude and all that stuff. So if you're interested, I'm going to drop the direct link to my coffee website right here in the chat. If you're on Instagram, you can find that link by clicking on my name and going to my profile, and you'll find that same coffee website. If you have any questions about coffee, let me know. But coffee is my side hustle, and has been my side hustle for the past 3 years. I went full time with the reselling, so I needed another little thing, and we've had a lot of fun selling the coffee. Our coffee is fair trade, it's organic, and it is roasted locally here in Black Mountain, North Carolina, by our roasting partner, Dynamite Roasting. They've been ranked the #1 coffee roaster in Western North Carolina. They've been voted the #1 coffee roaster in Western North Carolina for 13 years in a row, which is crazy. They have a great reputation locally. People love Dynamite. They're great people, small business, 15 employees. Thanks to Brian for supporting our small business, but also Dynamite small business too. It's so fun working together with them and having a partnership with people who are trying to run business the right way. And boy, do they know their coffee. They got relationships with small farms all over the country, which is really, really cool. So that coffee there, our medium roast, comes from Chiapas, Mexico. And it comes from a small cooperative of farms there. So it's a single origin coffee. So all the beans come from that one cooperative of farms in rural southern Mexico, like in the highlands. It's down by the border of Guatemala. So if you look up Chiapas, Mexico on Google Maps, you'll see it's down there by Belize and Guatemala. Some really great coffees come out of that region, which is technically still North America, but it's basically South America at that point. Got an order going out the door from Meg, a regular customer. She buys 3 bags a month, and she got her 3 bags, and she got the same, our Hooper's Creek medium roast. This is the whole bean. So they grind the coffee themselves. That's what Kim and I do too. So 3 bags going out the door. We always recommend for people to get the best deal to buy whatever you would drink in 1 month. So Kim and I drink 5 bags of coffee a month between the two of us. So we would order 5 bags a month because you save on shipping by buying it all at the same time. Meg drinks, it's actually for her husband. Her husband drinks 3 bags a month, which is healthy for one person. That's a lot of coffee. So he buys 3 at a time. That way you're still getting optimal freshness, but you're also getting like the great, a better deal on the shipping. So thank you, Meg. All this coffee is roasted fresh every Thursday, and Dynamite delivers it to our front door, and then we ship it right out to you. Oh man, I didn't put my thank you card in. I think I could sneak it in this side. No, maybe not. You gotta cut it open. Gotta put the thank you card in. If you have any questions about coffee, let me know down below in the chat. If you're looking for a recommendation, you're not sure which of our coffees to try, let me know what you currently drink. Like tell me like what brand and what roast. I can give you a recommendation. But for most people, I recommend starting with our medium roast. It's just such a crowd pleaser. It's a very balanced, smooth cup of coffee, and it won't offend anybody. It's great as a gift too, because coffee nerds will like that coffee because it is top shelf coffee, but it's not like, it's very approachable for someone who's like, look, I'm looking to upgrade from like Folgers or chock full of nuts. This coffee is not gonna like shock you. It's not gonna taste crazy or weird. It's gonna be very smooth and balanced, very fresh. But if you are switching from something that's like Folgers or chock full of nuts or something like that, the less expensive coffees, we generally recommend that people, like when you make your first batch, to put a little bit less coffee, like maybe 10% less than what you would typically put in, because it's such a fresh product. It's roasted fresh every week. Whereas like your Folgers was probably roasted, it could have been roasted in 2024. It's just been on shelves for so long that it's going to lose a lot of that like flavor and a lot of that aroma because it's just not new. It's not fresh, but our coffee is roasted fresh every week. So we generally recommend, if you're going to switch from one of those like commodity style coffees, which has been sitting in warehouses and back rooms at stores for, and sitting in trucks for months and months and months, traveling all across the country and sitting in warehouses, consider just using a little bit less coffee in your first batch and then just take it from there, like kind of see how it goes. But you can like blow yourself away by just, because it's so fresh, it's just got so much flavor, it really packs a punch. So try it with 10% less and then kind of fiddle with it from there if you're trying our coffee for the first time. But I think all the orders that we have today are repeat business. I don't think we got any new orders going out. But I'd love to ship you a bag of coffee if you're interested. If you drink coffee every day, you might as well drink good, fresh coffee from someone that you trust. What percentage of your sales are from Mercari? Probably like 2%. It's really low, Philip. My order has 2 dark roast. This is your order right here. Wait. Hold on. No, this is your order right here. It's Veronica, right? Veronica from Florida. I think this is yours right here, if I remember right. So we got 2 bags of, you wanted the whole bean, right? Like you grind it yourself at home. So here's our Black Mountain dark roast. This is going to be a little different than maybe black roast or dark roast that you've tried before. Oftentimes dark roasts can be like really, really roasty. And it's just kind of like one note. It's like roast, or like, bitter dark chocolate. This coffee is not going to taste like that. It is a dark roast, but it's more on the medium side. It's a blend of 3 beans from Honduras. And where's my bags? And all organic beans from Honduras, but 3 different beans blended together. It's going to have like a nice creamy finish to it. A little bit of hint of like dark chocolate and certainly a hint of some roastiness too. But it is not like that dark roast. It's got some like fun complexity to it and some, a roundness of flavors instead of just like bitter dark. So we really love this cup of coffee. We chose this dark roast. We did a blind cupping or a blind tasting at the roastery a couple of years ago when we were deciding to launch the dark roast. And so we tried 5 different blends that they put together for us based on our, previously tasting stuff up there and what they knew about our tastes. And we chose this one, Kim and I, from the 5. So pretty cool to be able to build a product that way. Yep, Veronica, hold me. I got you. Pretty cool to like be able to to like, yeah, go to I mean, that was such a fun experience for us. We actually live streamed the whole thing. But it was such a fun experience to be able to choose our new coffee. And, and they put together those 5 blends for us, and we blinded them, blind tasting, and just chose our favorite one that we thought was going to be our Black Mountain Dark Roast. So, Veronica, glad you're getting some. It's a delicious coffee. It's great as iced coffee. It's great hot too. We love doing it. Like, we'll blend it with our light roasts sometimes just to give it like a little bit of a different flavor. And when we make our cold brews, we drink a lot of cold brew these days. But it's fun. You can play with your coffee too. You can blend it a little bit and have some fun. Sometimes we'll do like 50-50 dark roast and light roast. Sometimes it'll be like 75% dark, 25% light roast, just to kind of switch it up and have some fun with it. Why not, right? So thank you, Veronica. Appreciate your business. It means a lot to me. When we were visiting, we went to City Bakery and had their cortado. They also used dynamite. It was amazing. We like City Bakery. So you were up at City Bakery. Is the one you probably went to the one on Charlotte Street, like just on the north side of downtown. We used to walk to that City Bakery and drink dynamite coffee there, for sure. So if you come to town in the Asheville area, you'll run into dynamite coffee at a lot of the local coffee shops. And that gives you an idea. Like, if a coffee shop, these people know their coffee better than most. If they're choosing dynamite, it's probably good coffee. Yep. Veronica Holbein. I got you. I appreciate your business so much. Glad you enjoyed your trip to Asheville too. Glad you ran into City Bakery. That's a cool spot. Cool local spot that you ran into. Next up is an order for Leslie. Leslie's been buying coffee from us for years. A loyal customer, a fellow North Carolinian. We got 2 more bags of whole bean. Oh no, medium roast, sorry. Whole bean medium roast going out to Leslie. Thank you, Leslie. We're going to get back into close here in a minute. Just got a couple of coffee orders. I wanted to make sure I thank everybody who supports our business. And it's fun shipping coffee to y'all. Again, if you want to get a bag or 2 while we're here on the live, I'll ship it out right here on the live with a big dose of gratitude. Supporting our small biz. So thank you, Leslie. All our customers from the weekend are like regular customers. Some of like Leslie's been ordering for years from us, which is really cool. That's like the best compliment is for when people come back for more, because that means it's like, cool, we're doing something right. They liked it. They enjoyed it. So thank you, Leslie. Always appreciate your biz. And we'll switch over. We'll do some Poshmark. We got some clothing orders going out the door too. Don't you worry. Got some good Poshmark orders, actually. Thank you, Leslie. And we got one more coffee order going out the door to Brett. Brett got, again, medium roast. Brett gets it grind. Remember, all our coffee is available ground or whole beans. So if you like grinding it yourself at home, like we do, we got you. If you like it already ground, we got you. Brett's been a regular customer for a long time too. Shipping out to Cedar City. Thank you, Brett. Brett's a fellow reseller. You might not see it when I'm doing it, but when I put these coffees in the bag, I always rip a little hole in the bag right here, right where these vents are. Because these vents, it's actually a one-way valve. And the idea is that it's still letting CO2 out, but it's not letting oxygen in. Oxygen is bad for coffee, right? So that's a one-way valve that lets the CO2 get out, which is especially important because these are bagged super fresh right after they've been roasted. So particularly in those first like 3 to 7 days, there's a lot of what's called off-gassing happening. So I want to allow that to happen because that's good for the coffee. You want that CO2 to just naturally be able to come out through that one-way valve. So I rip a little hole in the bag right there. So if you get your coffee and you're like, why is there always like a little hole in the top of the bag? I'm letting the coffee off gas. That's good for it. So oxygen is not getting in, but we're letting a little bit of that CO2 out, which is just very natural. A lot of people think that valve is like so you can smell the coffee, and that's a nice like benefit of having that valve there, where you can like pick up the bag of coffee, kind of squeeze it a little bit, and smell it. But it's its primary function is to allow that off-gassing to happen. All right, thank you, Brett. Appreciate your business. Good coffee weekend. Appreciate everybody who supports it. But again, that's not the only way you can support us. You just supporting us just by being here in the live, by saying hello, by letting me know about how your sales are going, by hitting that like button. That actually helps us out if you haven't done that. If you haven't subscribed, we're Chris at Peak on all the platforms. So love to have you follow or subscribe, depending on whichever platform you're watching. But it's Chris at Peak everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We are live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And all these lives are available as a replay. As soon as this live is over, you can rewatch it on YouTube and Facebook. It's not available on Instagram as a replay, but it is on YouTube and Facebook. So if you are watching the replay, I do get back to all those comments and questions as well. And so appreciate you watching, whichever way you're watching, live or on replay. It's cool with me, and it's good to have you. We got some Poshmark orders, some good stuff going out the door. Let's start with like a really good one. I like all the sales, but this one I particularly like because we got a couple of bundles going out. Here's a bundle of 3. Now, I list a lot of items together as bundles. That's not what happened in this case. The buyer came in and bundled on Poshmark 3 different items. So first up, we got a Ralph Lauren. This is a navy blue blazer with the gold buttons. Just such a good classic seller for us. So I think that was a pretty... Oh, so this was a quick sale. I bought all this stuff. It's kind of funny. I made a quick stop at the thrift store on the way home from an appointment the other day. And I went to my local thrift, and I just ran in, ran out. I had to get home. And I found these 2 blazers, so 2 Ralph Laurens, both size 48R, probably donated by the same person. This one's got a nice Glen plaid pattern, which is a really good seller for me. Really just hot pattern right now. The Glen plaid on anything like suits, blazers, dress pants, Glen plaid is just hot right now. So I found these 2 blazers, and I found 2 polo Ralph Lauren shirts. And this buyer bought this polo Ralph Lauren shirt and these 2 blazers. So altogether $99. And they sold in just a couple of days. The other polo shirt that I picked up already sold too. It sold in like 2 days. I think all these sold in 4 days. So literally went to the thrift store, bought 4 items, spent a grand total of seven, that's 14, 19, spent $24. And I already have $100 from this sale, and the other polo shirt sold for $22. So $121 in sales off that 24 that I spent just the other day at the thrift store. All those items are gone. It usually doesn't work that way, if you know what I mean. Like, to sell all that stuff in a week is kind of crazy, or in 4 days is kind of crazy. But that's the way that stop worked out. I wish it always worked out that way, right? Go to a thrift store, grab 4 things, and sell it in 4 days. Or grab 10 things, sell all those things in 4 days. I'd love that too, but it doesn't usually happen that way. This time it did. We'll take that W. I could have gotten more for each of these blazers had I bought them, sold them individually, but I was happy to give this buyer a deal at $99 because my buy cost for these 3 items was $19. So they paid $99. Poshmark's going to keep a 20% cut, which leaves me with $80. And I paid $19. So I made $61 on these items. I haven't even paid the credit card bill yet. And these things barely got into inventory. So we're going to put these in a big box. This is going out the door to Ian. Ian's in Hartsdale, New York. Nice little bundle right here out the door. Gotta love that. And we got another bundle going out after this too. Good Poshmark weekend. Some higher dollar stuff too, which is nice. Great contest. Resellers is the new wave. What's up, Rizzy? Any tips on getting bundles? I haven't had anyone do a bundle yet. So one thing that helps, and I don't know if that's the case with this bundle or not, but one thing that helps is Nifty. When you turn on your settings for sending offers, there's a setting that you can turn on where it'll create bundles for you. So say this person came in and liked 3 different items in my store. Nifty will bundle those items together for the person and send them a 10% off offer, which is really cool. And that gets me some bundle sales sometimes too. Other than that, I mean, the reason I got this sale is because these items are all the same brand and they're like the same size, right? So 2 blazers that are size 48R. So I also buy a lot of retail arbitrage stuff, and I'll get a lot of bundles on those. So if I'll have like 4 different styles of Bad Birdie shirts in stock, all brand new with tags, all size extra large. Somebody can come in and buy all 4 of those styles, make a bundle, and sell it. So some of it is just a matter of, do you have inventory that people are gonna bundle? We sell a lot of Polo Ralph Lauren, so therefore we do get a lot of Polo Ralph Lauren bundles. I had one a few months ago. It was like somebody on eBay went through and found 14 Polo Ralph Lauren shirts, all size extra large, and made a big bundle and paid full price and bought all of them. So I gave them like a bundled shipping deal, but they paid full price for the items. So that's it. I mean, besides those 2 things, besides that nifty trick, it's literally just having inventory that's bundleable, if that makes sense. I find that typically when people do bundles, it's usually the same brand, and it's usually like the same type of item. Like very rarely is it like they bought a shirt, a pair of jeans, and a hat. Like usually it's like 3 shirts or something like that, right? But in this case, they actually bought 2 blazers and 1 shirt. So they kind of put together a little outfit, But usually it'd be like 4 Bad Birdie polos, all the same size, just different patterns kind of thing. That's a really common bundle for us. So anyway, this is going out the door to Ian, $99 sale. I paid $19 4 days ago, and this is already out there. Gotta love that. Great content. Appreciate that, Rizzy. Compliments are always appreciated. So thank you. I hope you're doing well. Resellers is the new wave. What do you mean by that? The new wave. Chris, any advice on trying to get smoke smell out of a blazer? Didn't notice it. Picked it up when I start taking pics of it to list it. I could smell it. So Mark, we have a front porch. Kim's actually sitting out there right now doing her work on the front porch. It's covered. So what I did is I took a nail, I put it into one of the rafters, and when an item smells, I hang it out there, and I just let it like get sunlight. So sunlight, fresh air, and that combination gets a lot of stuff. But typically, if it's really bad smoke, what I'll do is I'll take Febreze and I'll hose the thing down with Febreze, and then do that same thing, hang it outside, fresh air and UV light. Typically, like 2 days out there. I don't leave it out overnight, obviously, but I'll leave it out there for a few hours during the day, take it in for night, put it out the next day. So that combination usually gets a lot of stuff out. There's other ways to do it too. Maybe somebody else will pop in the chat and give some other suggestions about how they get smells out, but that's how I do it. Do the people who buy bundles for you send an invoice, or do you refund any extra shipping cost? Multiple ways to do it. Typically, the way I do it, if somebody expresses interest in a bundle, I'll just tell them, look, just buy whatever you want, and I'll refund you, the difference in shipping. Typically, I can ballpark it too. Like if they give me I'll be like, give me your zip code. I can, estimate like how much the shipping is. They give me their zip code. I see that they're in Georgia. I'm like, well, that's not going to cost very much. So I'm like, if you get 8 shirts, shipping to Georgia will be, $14. So, whatever you buy, if it ends up being that you paid $56 in shipping, and my estimate, it's going to be like $14, I'm just going to refund you the $32 difference. That's typically how it works out for me. There's other ways to do it too, the invoice thing and all that stuff. Hello from Western Washington. Welcome in, Coho. You actually made it to the live. That's awesome. I usually have to look forward to your comments after the live, but I'm glad that you're here during the live. Just dropping in between stops. Hope all is well. I'll catch the whole show on replay later. We'll see you later on, Coho. I hope you're finding some good stuff out there. Good to have you. I ask because nobody ever sends me an invoice, even though it's turned on, and people ask me if I combine and want to know how much they'll pay. That's usually how I handle it. Is I'll just tell them, yeah, it'll be about $14 to ship it. 8 shirts. If you get more than that, it might be like $17. But if you want 8, it'll be like $14. I'll subtract the difference between what you pay in shipping. Go ham, go hog, buy all you want. But yeah, there's different ways to do it for sure. The invoice thing, that happened. I feel like that happened more often like years ago. I used to do like the invoice thing. I just don't really do that much anymore. Got a great sale right here. These I picked up. These are also in my Winston's. No, this is my Greensboro YouTube video. I paid up for these, $15. We can see that this is called the Brooks Beast. I don't know if you can see that. They're the Beast 20s. $15 is a lot to pay for a pair of Brooks shoes, but these beasts, they're like extra cushion, extra stabilizing sort of shoe, right? So this particular model, there's not a ton of them listed. Good sell-through rate on them. So I picked these up at the thrift store. I didn't list them forever because I'm really, really bad at listing shoes. But I finally listed some shoes last week for the first time in a while. Shh, don't tell anybody. I suck at listing shoes. So I finally listed some. These sold in 2 days. And it's funny is I listed 8 pairs of shoes last week. One of the pairs sold in less than 24 hours. And then this second pair sold in 2 days. So a couple of quick hits. Shoes sell quick. If you pick good shoes, they go so fast. They go so freaking fast if you're picking good stuff. Sell so much quicker on average than clothes do, to be honest. If I could find enough good shoes in this area, I don't know, I might be a full-time shoe reseller, even though I hate cleaning shoes. They sell really fast. And obviously all shoes aren't going to sell fast. But if you pick the right shoes and you price them right, they sell faster than clothing does on average. Out the door, thank you, Candace. Usually when I say I'll refund the difference, they disappear. What do you got to do? You can't make everybody happy. All right, next up on Poshmark. I got so many windows open. This is crazy. Or so many tabs. Let me know in the chat. Are you a tabber? Do you have like who's got the most tabs open right now on their computer? I just closed a few, so I think I got like 9 open right now, but I had like 15. Grayson Polo going out the door. This is funny. I actually shipped a Grayson Polo on Saturday too. The one on Saturday I had listed for like a couple of months. And it was a really cool pattern, like all over print with a really desirable country club logo on it. That one took 2 months. This one, just a regular plain stripy Grayson boring one. This one sold really fast and it sold for $25. This sold in 2 days. So go figure. The better polo took 2 months to sell. This one took 2 days to sell. But the other one was 30. I sold the other one for $30. This was $25. Maybe if I priced the other one a little lower, I would have got the sale quicker. Who knows? Thank you, John. I paid $5 for this polo at a thrift. Sold it for $25. Poshmark keeps their 20%, so that means they're keeping $5. So they're going to pay me out $20. And I paid $5, so $15 profit. So that's great. I get my initial $5 back. I get the $15 profit. Cool. So now I have $20 to go buy 4 more polo shirts this week at the thrift store and thrift those each. You see how it works? And keep the flipping going. Nice 2-day sale on that one. I like it. Usually when I say I'm a tabber, I probably have over 100. 100's that's a problem. That's a bigger problem than the wool thing, I think. I don't know. The wool thing's kind of a big deal. I think you should really, that needs to be addressed. But 100 is crazy. How do you even, can you even click on the tabs? And they must be so small. You're going to need a bigger screen. Next up is Poshmark sale. Good golf polo. Picked these up for around $10 a piece. Bought a whole bunch of them back in January. They've been selling off. Good is a YouTuber, a YouTube channel. It's called Good Golf, and now they have their own golf line of apparel. It's an okay seller, not a great seller, but $10 buy cost. I picked up a whole bunch of these. They've been selling for $25 a pop ish. Some of them sold for $30, $35. This one sold for a best offer $25. So I'll make $10 profit off this one. And I like it, multi-quantity listing. So I had, in this particular pattern, I had 3 different sizes. Each one was multi-quantity. So again, it's a good, easy way to grow your inventory if you can buy retail arbitrage. Multi-quantity buys is just my favorite thing to do. because it's good dollars per hour. One listing, set the quantity to 5, set the quantity to 8, whatever it is. One round of measurements, one round of photos. It's just such a, it's just such a good way to make money and grow your inventory and just get good consistent sales. I buy these golf polos in January when nobody's buying golf polos. I buy them on clearance because the store's got to get rid of them. Or I buy them at the end of the season in July when a lot of places will clearance them out. And then they keep me afloat during summer slowdown. You'll see a lot of new tags, retail arbitrage, particularly golf polos, some shorts too, but mostly golf polos that keep me afloat during the summertime months, during that summertime slowdown. I find that like new tag in-season stuff still sells really well, even when some other stuff is a lot slower. My browser doesn't shrink them. They're normal sizes. I multitask a lot. Gotcha. They say that there's no such thing as multitasking, right? That you're actually, you're switching in between, and there's a loss of, you don't need my lecture. Anyway, next up is a brand new tag. This is actually a thrift store buy. I wasn't sure about this one. I bought 10 of these. This is a brand I don't typically buy. It's called Jerry. This one's a men's size medium. It's like a waffle fleece, hooded, like lightweight, nice summertime like fleece hiking piece right here. So I grabbed these about a month ago, grabbed 10 of them for $7 a piece. So $70 buy cost. This is my third one to sell. Sold for $26. So let's just say, I think I sold all of them for like right around $26. So let's just use that number. So $26 times 3, we'll just use a nice round number. I've sold them for $75. We'll use 20% fees. So on 20% on 75 is $15. So Poshmark paid me out $60 for 3 of these sales. I paid $70 total for 10 of them. So I've already almost broken even by selling 3 of these, and I still have 7 more left. So I'll break even and like go into the green, so to speak, with my next sale on this. So they were all size medium. Half of them were this color blue, and half of them were the color gray. So I made 2 total listings. So in terms of like workload, very simple. Those 2 total listings take me a matter of minutes. And I only had to measure one of them because they're the same. Actually, I think I measured both of them because I put the measurements in the photos. But anyway, I digress. I made 2 listings. I'll get 10 sales out of these listings. My total profit, if they all sell around $25, that'll be $250 in sales. I paid $70 to begin with. My fees on $250 will be about $50, so $200. So I'll spend $70 to make $200 profit from 2 listings, and then you see how quickly it is to ship this stuff out. It's this nice and quick. I love that kind of business. I wasn't sure about the buy at first because the sell-through rate didn't look great. The comps didn't look great, but I'm like, I think I can get 25 for these newer tags. So I kind of like went a little bit on my gut on this one, but I've sold 3 already. So almost broke even. I'm just going to look and see how long. They've been listed for 35 days now. So I got 3 sales in those 35 days. I like it. I would do it again. Of course, they could just stop selling altogether now and I could be stuck with it. But I don't think so. I think 3 sales in 35 days, that's pretty good. That's like one every 11, 12 days. That's good. Love that multi-quantity out the door. And that was a thrift store find. That wasn't retail. That was new tags at the thrift. Next up is another bundle. This is a new brand alert again. We got to see, I've been running this business it'll be 8 years in another week. It'll be 8 years since I first really started selling seriously on eBay. And I learn new brands every single week. And just in today's live, from the last 2 days of sales, I've had 2 brands that I've never bought or sold before go out the door. So I don't know if you can see that. The brand here is called Onward Reserve. 2 pairs of pants. I paid $5 a piece for these at the thrift store. It's just like a pair of khakis. There's really nothing fancy about these. And one of them actually had a small flaw, so I listed them separately. I don't usually bundle things when one's flawed and one's perfect. I usually list those separately. Even though these are the same size, same model, I listed them separately, and somebody on Poshmark bundled them together and bought them. So a bundle together, $52 on this one. And what was great about this one is this was actually a Nifty. This was all handled by Nifty. The person liked both of these items, and then Nifty went in, created the bundle for the person, and sent out an offer on the combined items. So the offer went out at $52 on these, and that's what the person accepted. So nice and easy, no back and forth, no nothing. Just Nifty made the bundle, boom. I like it. So $52. I paid $5 each, so $10 total. Poshmark's going to keep 20%, so they're going to keep about $10 in fees on this. So that's going to pay me out, probably pay me out $41. And yeah, I paid 10, so $31 profit on these two. Onward Reserve is the brand. It's new to me. I'd never heard of it before. It looked like it was like a quality item. I was actually kind of surprised by the comps on it. So $7 or 7 days on this sale. So literally 1 week out the door, brand new brands for me. So you've got to be learning every day. You can't just rest on your laurels. This is, we're in the fashion business, and by definition, the fashion business is changing all the time. What was hot 3 years ago is not hot now. New brands are coming onto the scene all the time. And brands that have been smaller brands are blowing up and getting big as they get popular. And then they get really hot, and then they sell really well. Like a Poncho is going crazy. But guess what? 2 years from now, Poncho is not going to be going crazy anymore because their distribution is going to be wild. The supply of those shirts is going to be really high, and sell-through rates and average sale price will go down. So you have to be always learning, not just new brands as they come onto the scene, but you also have to be learning the brands that are slowing down and not selling for as much, because it is the fashion business. It changes really quick. You might not think you're in the fashion business, but you're in the fashion business, which means you got to keep up. You got to pay attention. Like one thing that's really common is like vertical striped shirts, like Polo Ralph Lauren, Brooks Brothers, that sort of thing. Like a couple, 3 years ago, those were tough sells, the vertical stripes. The plaid and the check is what really sold well. Those still sell well. But vertical stripe is back because I guess it's like it's like a Y2K kind of preppy look, right? So that's like very in right now. So now those like blue vertical stripe shirts, can't keep them in the store. When those were kind of like a borderline pickup, borderline pass just a few years ago. Now I'm like, I pick up all of them from good brands, obviously. But those vertical stripes will sell quicker than gingham. Will sell quicker than plaid for me now, which is kind of crazy. But you can't just use your old knowledge and rely on that to keep pushing you through. It is the fashion biz. It's always changing. Just another couple new ones for me today. I like it. Learn every day. I got to check one thing. What would be a good store for retail arbitrage to look for? I'll say this. If you're a clothing reseller, any store that sells clothing is going to offer opportunities for you. And particularly like box store, like, bigger national chain stores. So just pick one, and it's got to be good, and just figure out when they do their clearance and go do your homework. Retail arbitrage is a tricky beast though, because your mistakes hurt a little bit more. If you pay $5 for a shirt that sits in your inventory for, a year and a half, you're not going to lose sleep over that, right? It's a $5 investment. You're like, whatever, it'll sell eventually. But with retail arbitrage, you're typically buying multi-quantity of an item and you're paying more. So if you bought 10 shirts and you paid $11 a piece for those 10 shirts, now you got $110. And if it was a bad buy and you're sitting on a lot of those for a year and a half, that hurts a little bit differently, right? So the mistakes are just, bigger. The mistakes hurt more, but the wins are higher too, right? You could sell those same 10 shirts and you can sell them for $30 a piece, and they could all be gone in 60 days. And that's a really big win, because now you just made, like 12, like $15 profit a shirt, and you only had to make one listing, and you sold 10 of them. Like, there you go. Like, that's $150 in profit off of one listing. That's pretty rad, right? So the wins are bigger, and the mistakes just hurt a little bit more. That's going to do it for today's live. I'm all shipped out. That's it. I'll see if I have any. If you just popped in, as soon as I end this live here in a moment, you're going to be able to rewatch the full recording, fast forward through the boring stuff, rewind to the good stuff, including a couple of really good new brands that we found for the first time today. I'm just going to see if I got any good offers or anything in the door. I got an offer. We'll do this. Got an offer on this. This is an Eddie Bauer First Ascent. I love picking up Eddie Bauer First Ascent stuff. First Ascent is like their higher end, like hiking stuff. So this one right here is called, I forget the name of this model. It's like First Light or something light. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Sold this I've sold this dozens of times, both men's and women's. I picked these up. Probably paid $7 for this. I have it listed for $25.98. I got an offer for $20. That's a little low for me on this item. I know I can get this person or another person to spend a little bit more than that. So I'm going to counter offer their offer. I'm going to go down to like $22.98. I'll basically meet them in the middle. I know it sounds like haggling over a couple bucks, but I definitely haggle over a couple of bucks. It's kind of my business a little bit. So sent this counter offer $22.98. I typically list those like around $26, $28, both men's and women's. Men's sell a little bit better than women's, but a good seller, those First Ascent pieces right there. It's like a kind of like a waffle fleece, like good for hiking. And it's a good summertime seller. Don't think because it's a jacket and because it's a fleece, that's only for the wintertime. No. Those actually sell really well in the summer because people are going to, they stash that in their backpack for when they're hiking, for when it gets cold up near the top, or like when some weather moves in, you want to have something like that. Or you're hiking in the morning and you're wearing it to start, and then it gets warm as the day, the morning goes on, and you want to take off a layer as you start to sweat and stuff. So that right there specifically is actually going to sell. That piece will sell better in the summer than it will in the winter, even though it's a jacket. So because people are going to wear that as a piece of gear. What would be a good store for, I already got to that one, to check items on eBay for retail arbitrage? Does UPC barcode in the app help figure out a bit of the items? I don't really rely on that. Sometimes you can use that, and I'll find the challenge with that is this, that most sellers aren't going to put the UPC barcode in their listing. So if you're looking up things like sell-through rate and average sale price, if you're going by the UPC barcode, you're only going to be looking at a subset of the sellers that are actually selling that item. So you're going to be missing out because most people won't do it. So that's the problem with the UPC barcode. But you can use that UPC barcode, say the tag doesn't give you a model name or something on it, which it probably does if you're buying at retail arbitrage. But like in that case, I think that's called like the First Light hoodie or something like that, whatever. It will probably say it. If you're buying it new, it's going to say it right on the tag, right? But if it doesn't, you can use the UPC to then find some listings, and you'll see the listing will, some people's listings will actually have the model name in there, and you're like, okay, cool. This is what I can search for now. So then when you do your search, you'll do Eddie Bauer First Ascent First Light hoodie, right? And then you'll be able to see, you'll have a better idea of like sell-through rate and average sale price. But generally speaking, the UPC code thing is not part of my search process when I'm buying retail for eBay. When I'm buying retail for Amazon, the UPC is everything because everything on Amazon is listed based on the UPC, but that's not the case with eBay. So Amazon, UPC, eBay, not so much. You're welcome, Closer, and thank you, Veronica. I appreciate your purchase, and I hope you'll love the coffee. Thank you, Angela. Appreciate it. I generally have about 40 to 50 tabs open at any given time. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a problem. That was my trap. Like I told you, I'm like, man, I have like too many tabs open. How many do you have open? And then I got y'all to confide in me how many you have open, and then I'm telling you have a problem. I laid out a trap for you. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's you do you. But that's a lot. I don't know, how would you keep up with 40 to 50? I would lose them. You probably have multiples of the same tab open. I've definitely done that before. Actually, I do have multiples of the same tab open as we speak right now. So I imagine that would get really with 40 or 50 or 100 is wild. Y'all, thanks for hanging out with me a little bit today. I hope you had a good time. I had a lot more fun shipping out my items with you hanging out here. Kim would just make fun of me and laugh at me if I was in here talking to myself while I shipped out orders. So I'm glad that you were here to listen and play along. Hope you learned something. Hope you cracked half a smile today. Hope you find some great stuff this week. Hope you have some great sales. Remember, it is summer slowdown. Doesn't mean you should give up and be negative and all that stuff, but I generally assume that over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have slower sales than I've had over the last couple of weeks. Everyone's on vacation. We're talking about the number 2 and number 3 biggest vacation weeks of the year, or these 2 coming weeks. We're in the middle of it, right? Because 4th of July is Saturday. A lot of people are taking this week off and then going back to work next Monday. Other people are going to start their vacation this Friday. They'll get July the 3rd off, and then they'll wrap their vacation around the following week, and they'll have that full 10 days off. So aside from Christmas, these are going to be our 2 biggest vacation weeks of the year, which means people aren't staring at their phone as much. They're not spending as much money shopping as they are, because they're spending a lot of money at the lake, at the beach, in the mountains, at Disney, wherever the heck they are. Boy, Disney would be hot this week, wouldn't it? But they're spending a lot of money at all those other stuff. They're maybe not spending as much money on eBay and Amazon and all that stuff. That's why Amazon last week did Prime Week. Amazon knows, they know sales slow down right around this time, so they look for ways that they can stimulate sales, and that's what they did. So maybe you do the same thing. Maybe you run some sales this week. Maybe you say, you know what? I know no matter how hard I work this week, it's still probably going to be a little bit slower than the last couple of weeks. Maybe you kick your feet up a little bit this week. Either way, I'm sure you'll figure it out, and I hope you have a great week moving forward. We'll see you again next Monday. I'll go live. I'll ship out all the orders again. We'll talk about it, and we'll shoot the breeze, and we'll talk reseller stuff in the meantime. Hope you have an awesome week, whatever you do. Happy 4th of July. Be safe out there. Go America. Go USA World Cup team, by the way, too. Have a great week, y'all. Happy 4th. Peace.